Well, I mean, Sirius reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like I'd love to give you some extra background on Connery because I mean, Aeflic and I've been playing Emerald since it was a server, like, so you know, and I guess people are like, oh man, it's the Aeflic Shoctorr podcast has returned. I guess kinda, but we're still trying to figure out scheduling and figuring that stuff out. But essentially, Sirius reached out to me and was like, I can give you some extra background on Connery, and then I guess from there just kind of talk about the whole format in general. I'm interested in hearing both of your opinions on, you know, how this kind of, if you think the behavior is okay, how we should move forward. I guess even recommendations for the development team, what you'd like to see, etc. So I guess just to start out, everybody knows both of you guys, but like, Sirius, you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself? How long have you been playing the game? When you started? What do you do? Like, everybody knows you, but it's just good for context, I guess, if there's anybody new.
Yeah, right on, bro. And right off the start, I'm Patty Fathead. I know that you've got like all the OGs in your chat all the time. So if anyone was a longtime Connery player, that's how you know me from back in the day. Eventually, once the YouTube thing, Rel died off, right? He had to go do the dev thing. Someone had to step up. So I ended up doing the YouTube thing. You'll see me as CMDRCyrious on YouTube, all that stuff.
Nice. And then Aeflic, go ahead and introduce yourself,
No,
brother. Bro, you have to. There's people from Connery that don't know you.
Hey, look, how about give us this story? What made you change, bro? You're top of the board anchor. What made you change?
True. Oh, true. The service anchor has been retired for months now.
Honestly, it was Full Metal Savage from Kane 1 trying to take #1 Emerald NC from me. And I don't even know why somebody, I think somebody like donated or something, and so I was trying to, and like essentially I could just get a little bit better KPM. I could squeeze a little bit more into it, kind of push me past him, so then I could just kind of lock the spot down, because we were going back and forth for so long, and it was like exhausting us both. And then I put the flex on, real quick, did my thing, says cut, and just took off. So it's no big thing. That's why I switched over. It's just a better gun.
Nicely done, bro.
Sweet. No, that's true.
Your shirt.
I'm
just
forcing
play Emerald NC all the time. That's all I do. That's it.
Dude, I'm forcing you to introduce yourself, bro.
I just did. I'm Aeflic.
No. Where did you just nice and quick, just how Sirius did, bro? Don't be that guy. Don't be like, everyone knows me, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I just hate intros like that.
Just be like, yo, I'm Aeflic, Emerald.
I've been playing the game. Since beta. Went through all the stages of outfits and tacticalness and big platoons, leading outfits and commanding them in multiple platoons, all the way to mid fits to elite fits, to where I am now, kind of just solo playing / streaming, and just grinding out kills on Emerald NC. That's pretty much. I just play Emerald NC because that's what I prefer. So
all right, perfect. See, that wasn't that bad, bro. All right, well, again, I'm just here to just talk. It's not like the old podcast where I have all my notes and stuff like that. I'm just here to talk, kind of get a conversation going, similar to how I talked to Theorem and Disenfranchised on Saturday night. But I guess the first thing to start out with is, like, Sirius, you have the background knowledge on what's going on with, just the Connery server in general, whether it's specifically R18 and pigs, or it's the responses from other outfits, the distaste of recursion. Maybe just give us like a bit of a history lesson, because again, majority of my viewers are Emerald. This is some outside in looking stuff where it's like, who are these guys, who are these outfits, and what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta say, man, I was probably right with you. I loved your reaction, like, what the F is wrong with these casters? Why are they not like calling a spade a spade?
Dude,
and saying,
I felt so bad when I did that to you, because I thought it wasn't your platform totally for you to do that, though, because you were on the call with Archie, so it was like Archie's platform. So I understand why you didn't just jump in.
There you go. And the second part of that is I wasn't shocked, and that's a problem, right? When you see something like that goes down and you're not like just flabbergasted and shocked, like, okay, there's something fundamentally wrong with our server if that doesn't just like appall you right off the bat. So, but no, the history is Connery has always, we went through that phase, and I think every server has gone through it, where over time, right, you start out and all the talent pool is spread very evenly across the server. What outfit did you start in, Aeflic?
WMD.
Okay, and I don't know that, but you can, if you think about it, like a lot of the names I know as like the best players on Connery, they were in outfits that you would now consider, maybe they're a mid fit. Some of them were in what you call the Zerg fit back in the day.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It was
There's a
extremely,
massive
extremely distributed, right? And then over time, outfits break up, things move, and then you get these very concentrated, powerful outfits. Connery had something called Hive. We had NSVS had it for a while. DPSO had it for a while. Recursion had it. Those Future Crew had it for a while. You have a lot of these, these waves, these really concentrated outfits, and they're hard to deal with, right? It's tough to balance. You guys have probably heard me talking about power disparities. You can do it by bringing a bunch of pop. You can do it by creating a really tight outfit of high individual skill players. So it definitely provides a little bit of fiction, but for whatever reason, it mostly happened on VS, on Connery. And I feel like that seems to be most servers, right? It seems like VS.
Yeah,
I think
Emeralds.
so. Well, I'd say that the maybe on Emerald, my knowledge of it had always been like the ones who were antagonized the most, or not antagonized, but the people who were seen as the villain the most were like the VS. Because we had TIW and we had Bax on NC who I'd say were pretty equally skilled, even though there's gonna be like some old heads from AC in chat going like that's bullshit, but like I don't know, like people had shooters on basically every faction. But I do agree with you in the sense that from the outside looking in, especially for newer players that were just getting involved in like the outfit politics and hopping on the Reddits, for example, where like they're all on VS, all the cheaters are on VS, whether it's on yep. Emerald it's like DA and AC or something like that. So
yep. And so this went, it happened early on, and it actually really even screwed us in Server Smash because our rules were that you could only bring 12 from an outfit. And so what happened is all the power was so concentrated. Recursion, maybe had 48 to 60 of those really powerful players, but they could only put 12 on the board if you'd let them. So anyways, all the way back then, it was causing drama, giving a super long back history lesson. But then moving forward, obviously, you get something like pigs. Now, pigs at one time, at any given time, they were running roughly 50 to 60% of the population, the TR population on the server. Think about that.
Yeah, that's deep.
It's a lot.
There was a time, and I mean, he's always. I'm not a Pale Tiger hater, okay, but he's always been an abrasive guy, and most people are Pale Tiger haters. So I'm usually the guy that's trying to stand up and say, hey, we got to find a way to work with this guy, because the reality is you have to. The most powerful factions are the ones that have some level of skill, and they also have a Zerg ball that can be managed, right? I mean, Sokars does a good job managing pop. The wild cards does a good job managing pop, but you guys have already probably run into the big outfits that don't do a very good job of that as well. But it makes you powerful if you can kind of combine those two forces. I mean, you will go out and win alerts. But anyway, so pigs became very hated on the server. They were, I don't know, put your input. Where do you guys stand on it? Is Zerging the worst thing ever? Is it understandable because they don't have access to all the recursion level players? Like, where are you guys at on that?
Zerging is something that, like, a lot of people I feel like hate, like Elite Fits or just solo players that are good, 2KD plus players. But that's where you get your farm on. Like, most players don't want to fight equally skilled players for whatever reason. So Zerg Fits are necessary evil, I guess. And if you kill pigs or you kill AOD or when PHX died on NC, somebody else fills this place. Somebody else is going to invite everybody at the warp gate. It's not going to go anywhere. No one's going to really organize it, or there'll be an outfit that comes up and organizes a portion of the Zerg into something that's decent. And it is what it is. I mean, it's something that you can't have the game. I can't farm at a biolab or a tech plant if there's no one there to farm. Right? If it's 12-24, I mean, I can get my game on. But Zergs create the fun
thanks for the platoon, brother. I had a good time.
My type of player.
You're a gifted leader, brother.
I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
so well said. Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Shoctorr,
sorry, my thing
you're cringing at us.
No, I forgot to close.
You muted, bro.
My recursion. I forgot to close my recursion, and then my session ended, and it was like me going. It's like my voice back going like,
Death streak.
You're a gifted leader, brother. It was weird. I was just like, what the hell was that? My bad. Typical Shoctorr not paying attention to the interviewers. No, what I was gonna say is, Zerging is an inevitability at the end of the day, just when it comes to the dynamic of how everything works. Because it's like, again, the 3-faction system, you're not going to be able to distribute the same amount of people that you focus on one side to the other. And in an environment where there's a resource that's scarce that everybody wants, which is territory, whoever has the most of the resource will be the ones getting focused. And that's, I guess we could talk more about it in Outfit Wars as well. But when you end up having a situation where two sides that have more people than you are all trying to grab the exact same resource and you are the one with the most of that resource, then zerging is an inevitability, just because you're not going to be able to have a 48 to 96 on one front 50-50 and then also be able to have another 48-96 on the other front without having just more players like on the server for the faction, not even the outfit, like the entirety of the faction, to be able to equalize. So I don't know. Zerging has always just been something like it's always about, at the end of the day, the map design to be able to cater the Zerg though. So if you don't have like a solid base to be able to at least counter it with less people, then that's always been my issue, at least. Because I think zerging is just a symptom of the problem rather than the problem, which is, you know, a lot of the bases make it so that zerging is super, super easy to just, you know, to just execute. It's the easiest thing. It's the lowest, I don't even know what the word is, but it's the lowest friction point, I guess. So, I don't know. My opinion on zerging, I was the leader of a zerg fit when I first started PlanetSide, actually. Like, after a month or two of me learning how to lead, I like ended up leading a zerg fit, and I was just dropping waypoints, sending in max crashes. Back when it was charge maxes, you could just press F and everybody goes in at the same time at like 60 miles per hour. So I understand why people do it. It's just,
plus it's like a big part of your stream right now, right? I mean, Cletus, right?
Oh yeah, I do it every Monday. We're like, but like the thing is, you know, AOD is actually a pretty interesting beast, and we can talk about that later too. I don't want to go too far off a topic, because you know, I want Sirius to kind of, you know, catch us up at least on the history. But yeah, for me, I think zerging is an inevitability, and it's a matter of just countering it with map design to make sure that, you know, if you have superior numbers, it's not necessarily just an easy W, and that people who are at least defending can have some sort of alternatives. And, you know, we could talk about like the tech plant design, for example, or something like that to bring up like good map design to counter pop. But yeah, I'll let you keep going.
Right. No, and it's a good conversation that's kind of parallel to what we're going to get into. But like Aeflic, obviously, a lower skilled player can't spend his entire PlanetSide 2 career under your LMG, right? They have to have an experience too, and that's what these outfits like Pigs provide, that are up, they're running 24 hours a day. You know, for the more casual player that is probably not going to make his way into the upper echelon of PlanetSide 2. I'm going to pop this one up here real quick. Will this let me do it? No.
Oh, I've changed
Yeah,
places.
I can see it. I'm displaying your screen.
Let's see if that pops
bottom
up.
left now.
Like right here, this guy, you know, I was looking over all the discussions of the last week, but bringing up that this is the way a player can get experience. Like Aeflic can go out and just have fun dominating, right? I play anyone here. We can just go play on our own and have fun. Whereas for a lot of players, they need that guidance to have the PlanetSide experience. Anyway, so that's why Pigs got so big. Everyone hates on Pigs and blah, 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 but they provide some sort of service. So here's where it started going south. Recursion or Hive is winning all the time, right? Just constantly. It's very, very tough to counter them. And then what would exacerbate it is TR or NC would get scared of VS. And while they really needed to focus them because VS had such a power disparity in terms of skill, VS, TR, and NC really should be putting, you know, extra pop on them. They tend to just fight each other. So then you just get worse and worse landslide victories by the VS. Sometime after this, Pigs, Pale Tiger is, I think, the first one to ever suggest this, but he decided, and he was yelling about it in command chat, that he's going to go over to NC and he's going to just talk to all the leaders and say that all we do is double team the VS. So I want to make the point that Pale Tiger is the one that made the first move to say, hey, let's start this double teaming thing.
The mastermind behind it all.
Yeah. And so to me, that's where it really starts breaking down. Like, it works. I think VS needed to be double teamed a lot of the time, but not intentionally. Only to the point of where they're not running away with alerts at 50%. We still need tight, close alerts. Just put the appropriate amount of force to counter them there, right? Rather than say, hey, we're going to ignore strategy. Who cares who wins as long as it's not VS? That's when it breaks down. So he made that first move. But then sometime later on, And, I've heard different iterations of it from the VS and the NC why they did this. Dim Giant and Therum set up the Kestrel Accords. You guys heard it on our stream, on Arshy's stream. And for a month and a half, they just double teamed TR. Previously, it's been said as,
Wait, I've never heard.
it was just one night, bro.
I've never heard about that. But
Yeah, it was. If you go back there, Dim Giant said it right up there. For a month, mostly when we hear about Kestrel Accords, they're like, obviously on TR, especially, it sucks for the rest of TR because this is something that kind of Pale Tiger brought on, but not Hammered, CIK, no other outfits are like in on this, right? So TR's getting screwed over because Pigs had this idea to go try to start double teaming and it completely backfired on him. And now the other two factions have decided to double team TR.
Okay. So it's like a revenge thing, or like not
really.
really.
It really is. Like, I can't. Like, while TR has gotten double teamed significantly more often, one of the leaders on TR made the first move there. So,
so it's like
wrong?
revenge almost on the intent of wanting to do the thing in the first place. So it's like, you were gonna do this, so this is what you get because you were gonna do this.
That was, yes, pretty much. That was my interpretation of it. And there were fuels. B-Way came over, and I think, someone got wind of them saying, yeah, we're going to show Connery, blah, 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 blah. So they got double teamed into the warp gate. Because whenever they need to, these Kestrel Accords come back into effect, and TR just gets hammered. So
you guys have some crazy lore, bro.
We do. So anyways, fast forward to Outfit Wars. You saw that in the Dark. We had Dark, Dim Giant, and Hammered. You saw Hammered just get double teamed. It was not as blatant as Pale Tiger running along next to R18, but you had the same thing. You had a VS NC outfit double team TR on one side, and you had a TR NC outfit double team VS. So yes, it almost feels like everyone's gotten too cozy. Like, everyone talks about faction loyalty is a terrible thing. I'm like, okay, everyone's getting a little too friendly here, making all these alliances. So that being said, I'm always like, everyone's like, serious, what, you mad, bro? Like, why are you upset with these outfits? Western Tactical has organized all these double team events. I'm like, dude, that's not cool. We're not having fun. Even if like Hammered's gonna play it off like no problem. I mean, Mark, all these nights we're like, God, why are we even here? It's just so stupid. There's not even a chance. So I don't know how we reinvent Connery and say, hey, look, guys, everyone's supposed to fight for the win. But that's the big thing to me, is even when there's a really good outfit on the table, like, think about the first Alpha season. Pigs beat the two best outfits on our server. That says right there that the three-way works. It does what it's supposed to do. It gives an outfit that's not as strong a chance. But when you go off into this other thing where it's like, okay, we're not playing to win anymore, we're just playing to screw someone else, the whole system breaks down. Anyways, now that you guys have the backstory, hopefully you can understand why I'm not sitting there like hammering away in these guys right away, because our server diplomacy is weird, and I've just been crapped on every time I've kind of brought it up. Hey, this isn't a good way to do it. What do you guys think?
It sounds like it makes sense why they do it, but that I still don't have any sympathy for doing it. I don't know how to explain, like, it's like the concept of, we have a common enemy here, but we don't have a common win condition. So it's like the focus is so much on the enemy. So it's like, now the enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing, while completely disregarding that win condition. Oh, there comes the lights. I was gonna say, well, I was like, whoa.
My lighting's all weird. I've never done it like off stream, so.
Sounds an asteroid, bro. Crazy.
The flash grenade. So I understand, I guess, because that's been some stuff like that's happened on Emerald, and Aeflic and I were around for that, where it's like the frustration of like outfit rivalry. But I can't think of a single time, and Aeflic, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I can't think of a single time where we got to the point where it was like we colluded with like leverage to be AC or something like that. Because Aeflic and I guess for the history lesson there, it's like Aeflic and I co-led backs from like 2014 to 2015, that era. It was like basically a year of us just like doing ops every day, 8 to 10 p.m. bedtime, recruiting, 2 KD, 60 KPH, we were trying to get shooters. It's the old Aeflic first, me second in charge. Like but we never really. I can't think of anything like that. Like,
I mean, like, we couldn't even get past the NC being dog shit. We're like trying to save our own faction, let alone trying to like fight the other two. Like, oh, dude, there's just so much stress, so much bitching at people in command chat, all that cringe stuff. And like now that like I don't even care about alerts anymore, just because the outfit meta is just destroyed. The midfit meta, Goku versus Bax, that was like those were some of the best times in the game. That's kind of just fizzled out to where it's just like before I left, like it was just B-way. And like I'm like, why do you even have an outfit? There's no other outfits to challenge each other. But anyway, that's besides the point. The worst, I think, the only thing I can come up with that's close to it is the Zoimax era when VS just dominated. I'm assuming all servers. With the Zoimax, it was so OP and broken. It was like 6 months of that, and a lot of people quit and left. It wasn't like we double teamed, but that kind of bleed through of just VS taking over the alerts and whatnot. I mean, I never tried to work with another outfit because I was trying to work with outfits on my faction, and that was just a terrible idea.
Yeah, and so here's give me in chat too. Give me some advice. So I am like, in order for me to have fun in this game, like I get this serious. You're taking it too serious. Pardon the pun, right? Like if I'm like trying to point out, be like, bros, that's not a cool way to do this. You know, we should all fight each other. We should all try to win. It's like, serious, it's just a game. Chill out, bro. You mad, bro? All that. And I'm like, okay. But like for me to have fun in the game, I want to have nail biting alerts. That's kind of where I have fun when it's like down to the last second. So I'm like, that's part of my fun is trying to take it, let's call it seriously, okay? However you want to say it. So how do you navigate that world? That's why I don't come up and just kind of like cuss these guys out, right? Because there's a diplomacy end. How do you kind of reestablish the boundaries of how it's supposed to work out there?
Like, I mean, go ahead.
Like, I was thinking of like the only examples I can think of from back in the day where we colluded was like when Goku was our rival. Like whenever it was a Bax v Goku 50%, it was like the mind of KV versus the mind of Aeflic, or the mind of Unclean versus the mind of Shoctorr. Like, how is Unclean going to capture the base, and how is Shoctorr going to try and retake it? Or how is KV going to take this base, and how is Aeflic going to retake it? Like, that was the meta for us back in the year.
Okay, they're gonna pull maxes when we're gonna play infantry, and
but we pulled maxes too. I'll be honest. In retrospect, we pulled maxes too. But now, when I think of when we colluded, it's sometimes I think the furthest we ever went, and I actually have like a YouTube video of it that's completely unlisted because it's I don't know. Shut your stupid. No, I never.
Yeah, I've got those YouTube videos too, there, bro.
So like, I never really did anything with Goku outside of them switching over to low tax, which was their NC, I guess, what was it? Their NC alt outfit. And then they would play with us and then coordinate with us in command chat. And Aeflic remembers this stuff. We had like a Goku and Bax max crash one time. I think it was at TI Alloys, and that's the YouTube video.
Okay. I think what you're trying to say is like, I think there was times where like NC wouldn't, or Goku didn't have a chance at winning the alert. But or they did or whatever, and then like we would, to prevent the other faction from winning, we would go to the same tech plant that VS was capping, and we would help them cap it and hold on to it by defending like the primary balcony when they held like the big gun at the grinder doors, just so that we could win, and we would like collude that way, I guess.
Yeah, but it was never like it never went to the
point. Made those plays though.
Okay.
It never really got to the point that like we would like not shoot each other though, like because we were shooting everything. Because I remember we would drop on the tech plant because there would be nothing left to do in the we lost. Like we couldn't capture anything, but we saw this thing happening over there. We're like, guys, load up in the gal, fuck it, let's just go and drop on that base and kill everyone. But what I was talking about specifically is when factions outfits, like their best outfits, like Goku or Bax, we would switch factions, and then who we would usually be fighting, we'd actually coordinate with in command chat. And we actually did that when the Bastion update came out too, and I came back from my retirement and started leading Bax Ops, where KV was in, KV, the leader of Goku, VS Space Dad, was now in command chat for NC, and I was just like, all right, KV, I'm taking Bax here, and he's like, all right, then I'll take Goku here. So like, that's, I guess, the most I can really remember collusion going. But like we've never really done anything like the Kestrel Accords, where it's like, Goku was on the opposite side still, and we were like, I was calling him on the phone going, hey, we got to take out TR here, we got to warp get him because we hate 382nd or AOD or whoever.
Right.
So But yeah, I guess to answer your thing there, it's like I've never really seen that level on
And I will
Emerald.
say live has gotten a lot better. Like it was really bad for a while where it's just, and then the biggest problem I saw with it is the leaders like, bro, it's just one Mimi night. But what happened is I'm going to call it the underlings or whatever that were running on the off nights when leaders weren't around. They would fall into that same groove where everyone's just going to double team TR because they had that fun night where, everyone celebrated just absolutely dominating the faction. And so the ripple effects were that it happened more and more and more, even though the Kestrel cores weren't on. Anyways, it blew over. We kind of got back that stage. But then when I see it out there happen afterwards, I'm like, yeah, just so unsurprised. I know I'm supposed to be outraged, but I'm just like, yeah.
So yeah, I guess I understand then, because like I do on one hand want to apologize because I don't know if you've seen the clip where I was like, these pussy ass casters won't denounce this behavior.
Bro, inside I was yelling the same thing. So don't worry. I don't feel bad at all, man. I'm like,
no, but then I also was like, I've lost all respect for Cyrious and all respect for Archie. But
I was
like,
kind of losing respect for myself too, But I was, me. You're right. I was trying to be diplomatic in the situation, trying to get the language in where we get across. It obviously didn't. He still thinks Recursion's hackers, and it was completely acceptable. But
I'm just imagining like if he was like versing backs from back when we were playing and stuff. It's like we would have probably been in the same thing as well. I don't know. But
absolutely.
Yeah, later you ended up like going like we've like no one's ever done this. Like why this goes against the whole game in general. Like you don't play to make someone lose. You play to win. Like just stuff like that. And then I was like, okay, like now he's bringing it up. And then in hindsight, I'm like, okay, you were in Archie's Discord on Archie's platform, and then you're just going like, everybody stop. Like it made sense to me after, but like I was just so angry that because I had friends from Emerald that were also involved in Connor, because they play in both factions, right? Or both servers, excuse me, and they played, and then they're just like getting robbed of like just an enjoyable experience because it's literally the most collusion I've ever seen in the game. So I'm frustrated on one hand, but yeah, I was very angry. But then you said what you said, and then I remember being in your chat later, just being like, hey, thank you for bringing that up on stream because no one else was willing to like no one else had the balls to say it. Like everyone was just like, tell us more about why you did the thing. Like I don't know. I wasn't a big fan too of just giving a platform to someone who's like actively promoting toxicity in front of basically 1,000 viewers if you added up every stream.
Absolutely. And it's an even tougher one because, the Pigs isn't as big now, but you can imagine that when he's running half of the TR population and disseminating that same language that TR or DPSO or whatever outfit it is. No, I love all these outfits. Man, I'm going to get hated here, but they're good players, but they're not like crazy players. Sorry, DPSO, right? They're just good players. They're normal players. It's not like there's a few just out of this world players, but it's like when he's disseminating that information to his own outfit that regular players are hackers, like it's just going to create this bad effect for TR forever, where half the population is just getting this beat into them that they don't need to improve. It's the other guy that's doing it wrong.
And you made a video about this. I remember watching it on my stream about where it's like, there's that person in a platoon that's going like, VS is full of hackers, and then there's a new guy in the platoon, and then he just gets that, or sorry for the gender assumption, but they just go like, oh, the whole faction is full of cheaters, and then that will be their mindset from when they start the game to when they eventually quit, whether it's them staying forever or if them staying for like a couple hours. But Aeflic, it sounded like you wanted to say something.
Just going back to some stuff that Cyrious was saying, I'm trying to write some stuff down, but whatever. The whole "it's just a game" is the most bullshit excuse. Everything's just a game if you break it down. And I get people always meme me for this. Most people, or some people, have never played a sport, or have never done anything in a competitive setting. Okay, there's like a naturally unspoken rule of you don't cheat. You don't. If you do that, you get dunked on. Like you just don't do that. And a lot of people don't understand that integrity or that change inside of something. And while I think Outfit Wars is dumb and I dislike it, and 1v1v1 is stupid to me and all that, whatever, that's a separate issue. At the end of the day, the devs in their letter says it's a competitive event. I don't know how you're showcasing the best outfit on the server, but that's a different point. It's a competitive event, and there should be integrity involved with it's an outfit. It's a group of people playing together. It's not like it's just a faction of random people running around. And so the bullshit excuse of it's just a game, it doesn't matter. chess is just a game, football is just a game. Like,
but it's the love of the game that makes, like, just to add, like, it's the love of the game that makes people, and people are gonna be like, wow, Shoctorr, so cringy. Are you insinuating that you love this game? It's like, yeah, bro, I fucking play it every day, dude. Yeah. Like, it's the love of the game that makes things serious at the end of the day. And that's what I was kind of talking to when I was talking to Theorem. I was like, hey, like, I get it. You're there to have fun, but the objective that makes it fun in the first place is playing to win. So when you're being robbed of that ability because one side is not playing to win, they're playing for you to lose, and then they have a win condition through this moral victory. It's like it ruins the integrity of the game. But I cut you off, bro. Keep going.
No, I mean, I was just gonna. That's pretty much it. And then
I'm right there with you. Like I'm out there playing my freshman football, right? It's sure. Does it matter? No. I mean, like, we can all decide that the fact that you ran a football 100 yards to this piece of grass, right? We can decide there's no value in it, or we can decide there is. We can create a competition where the two sides vie to be better, and we can put value in it. And that's what gets the blood pumping, and that's what makes you excited, and that's how you get an event out of it. And to me, that's the same thing here. Sure, it's not competitive like the World Cup or the Super Bowl, but it is competitive in the sense that you are going out there and you are trying to best your opponents through strategy, skill, all those things. I'm not saying it's fair. It's not necessarily a fair event, but there is a competition going on there.
Yeah, and I think so. A lot of people use my distaste of the 1v1v1 format as a competitive event. It has merit as an event in general. Like, when I played it 3 times now. It's fun. I haven't been able to do something like that since Server Smash, and the Server Smash meta it's since been dead. But like, being in a platoon and then, you know, talking to your squad, and then like your squad leader being fed orders from the platoon leader, and it's kind of like where are we going to go next? Always on your feet, you know, we're redeploying, we're jumping around. That's just a game mode that we haven't had in a bit. We used to do that in alert meta. It's kind of gone now. We did it for Server Smash meta. Now that's gone. I heard there was Community Smash. Now that's also kind of fizzled out. Lane Smash is something else, but I think that requires too much organization. So it's one of those things where it's fun to play in because it's cool to be with the boys again. It's cool to play with the gang, because all 3 of us are good examples where it's like, majority of the time we're streaming, we're by ourselves. Like, you know, we have chat to talk to, but we're playing solo. And when we started our games, and everybody, this is why we all stuck to the game. It's like, when we started, we joined a platoon, we had comms turned on, and someone was like, go to alpha. And you're like, fuck, that sounds sick. Like, I want to go to alpha. Like, we all had our milsim phases where we thought war shit was cool. We all played with our stupid toys that had, like, you know, green army tanks and stuff like that. And it's like, even though now it's cringe to look back and be like, yeah, milsim stuff is stupid. Like, I was watching
Those
Lunar
are some of the best
stream.
memories.
Yeah, I was watching Lunar stream the other night, and Lunar was playing DCS, and like the comms in the aircraft were like real comms. It was like, Lunar come in, over, and I was like, that's sick. Like, I kind of want to play that. Like, even if I'm not like super milsim, for example. So when it comes down to that, it's, you know, it's a good game mode to play in because it brings that back. We haven't had that in a minute. And it's cool to do that. But on the other hand, when you try to make it an esport, whether it's intentional from the devs or not, the way it's being marketed through streamers that are the faces of PlanetSide at the moment, it is being marketed as an esport. And people are going to take it seriously because they like the game a lot. And this is the newest format. And it's our first format ever backed by the developers, where it's like, it's literally made and organized, and it's in the game promoted as an event to check out. So when everybody goes, okay, I'm not going to play on Saturday, I'm going to watch, because that's also been an issue with PlanetSide. People don't watch it. Like, some people have been recently, and, you know, viewer counts have been really high right now, but I don't know. I think once the drama subsides, it's going to go back to, like, people don't really watch it. It's cool now. Like, it'd be like, okay, I'm not going to play for today, I'm going to watch it. Like, people do that with CSGO, they do it with Valorant, they do it with League of Legends. They take the day off, the weekend off, and they watch the major, or they watch like a minor tournament, and because they love the game and they want to see the best players playing it. But then, yeah, when we get to a situation where there's active collusion, as a viewer, you're robbing them of an experience just because, you know, again, the love of the game is there from them. And even though they might be quiet, they're wait, I forgot to wait 1 second. Just because, oh man, just because there's like a group of people that ends up coming out and saying, like, you know, there is no rules. This is just this is an assumption of the format. You know, that's not fair for anybody, because we're playing it to watch the game and see the game that we like. And if somebody else is just deciding that you will win because you are the winner, and I don't like the other team, then I don't promote that behavior at all, and that ruins the experience for me as a caster. It probably ruined it for you as a caster as well, because you're trying to cater the match to your community. And then for the people watching too, it's like not everybody's on Reddit or in Twitch chat spamming what they believe. Like majority of people are just quietly watching and going, I'm probably not going to watch that again because someone's just going to throw the match. So, but I just went on a tangent there. Banned
It's tough to make those matches interesting, right?
Yeah,
Wait, who blasted that? Was that you or a mod?
that was
Shoctorr?
me. That was me because I just didn't remember his username. I had too many R's in it, but I'm blasting like the people who either organized it, facilitated it, or streamed it. And there's like the whole Chuck Baller thing where he made a YouTube video mad about me banning him, but I didn't watch it. Like
bro,
I heard you watch it. I'm not
great.
gonna waste my time watching it because
honestly though,
go ahead.
He gave you a lot of props. I'm not gonna lie. He actually kind of hyped you up a little bit. He actually gave you some props. And honestly, I think he's just sad you banned him. At the end of the day, I think he's saying you banned him, and he talked a little bit about his war paint and some shit. But at the end of the day, I think he said that you banned him, and that's what it comes down to. He
and
actually was like, you get hella viewers. You're doing this. I think you blow up. Like he
I get
hyped
it.
you up a little bit.
I get
he
it.
said he listened to your whole album, by the way.
I gotta stand up for Chuck played on server with me for a long time. There's no bigger Planet Side 2 supporter. I don't care who it is out there. There's no bigger Planet Side 2 supporter than Chuck out there. So,
So yes,
he wasn't the ringleader. I
get it, but there's something about so I feel like coordinating something it's that's the worst possible thing you can do. Like you're actively ruining the format. But then broadcasting that you're okay with the event as it happens, and then saying that you couldn't do anything better, like if Aeflic,
I do feel that, bro. You could walk away, right? You could say, "Look,
that's not the only option you have." Like you can
didn't
just
a bunch
not
of people
do
not show
it.
up anyway, though? Didn't a bunch of people not? Didn't they have low pop?
Well,
like
no,
90%
they had low pop in the other one when they played to win though. Like they had about the same. If anything, I think they had a little bit more. But like I think Sirius said it earlier, like their numbers are just down at the moment in general.
It just goes back to my thing, dude. No spine. Like you know it's wrong. Don't do it. Move on. Like it just. Don't cheat. I know fucking getting cheats. I don't need them. On any game is wrong. Therefore, I'm not going to do it, regardless of someone telling me to do it or not. Like you're an adult, act like an adult. Like, but a lot of people don't act like an adult, even though they're an adult. So I can't say we're surprised.
No, and you're right on. I'm kind of making excuses, but you're right. If you see something going wrong, maybe you can't fix it, but you can walk away. You can say, you know what, I'm out. I'm not going to participate. You guys do you. I'm not trying to hate you.
Stream it.
Yeah, and then
don't fucking blow your spot up.
Because I heard he wasn't going to stream it in the first place, and
I gotta say, I kind of felt like Lester Holt in that interview where it's like, wait, did I get him? Like they just came out and they just told me all about it. They're like, we just
and even RC
we
said
talked
it
beforehand. We planned this all out. I mean, like at least say like it was it came up in the match, right? You're realizing something's going on anyways in the match. You're kind of like, F it. No,
lie,
like,
lie. Literally just lie. Just say we found out there was no win condition, and then this was our best option. And it's like, wait, what?
Like, dude, in Tyler's video, his 6-minute video, he's like, yeah, we did it. I'm proud of it. I was like, bro, you had an opportunity. Just everyone knew you did it, but no one we couldn't. Like, no, can't really prove it. But now you're just like, yeah, I fucking did it, and I don't give a fuck. I'm proud of it. It's like, oh, okay. Like.
And it was weird.
Now here's the interesting thing. In that interview, what he ended up saying is, so it should really be 1v1. And I'm like, the whole reason I keep, I'm the guy. I obviously cater to the newer end of the community. I like trying to bring people in, blah blah blah. And I try to say, hey, look, everyone's in port of it, from the the 5% accuracy guy all the way up to the 40/40 accuracy guy. It was interesting to me saying, so really it should all just be 1v1. And I'm like, if it is 1v1, there's really no point in any outfit but the top 3 going out there. To me, right? Like,
but then why do we have chess tournaments? Why do we have the NFL? Why do we have anything? Well, StarCraft 2 has qualifiers where people get blown the fuck up and get absolutely destroyed, and nobody restreams those, and then it builds up this hype all the way to the end.
So
and then guess what? There's underdogs. There's March Madness. Like what?
No. On one hand, Sirius has a good point, and then I think you have a good point too.
You're never going to hear about at the bottom. But I feel like this community is too small to have that where you just blow
That's
out
what I was going to say.
Okay, with 48, yes.
But bro, Aeflic.
That's why, yes. Go ahead.
Your high school team is not going to verse the Patriots. Like, they're different divisions. Yes. And that's why I think divisions would make sense. But then just as Sirius said, how many players play this game anymore? 3,000 people played in the first week of Outfit Wars, confirmed by Rel on Twitch, or Twitter, excuse me. And you know, a lot of the people I know were ringing in it too. So it's like, that's not even 3,000 unique players, whether it's 2,999 and it's only one person.
Okay,
or
that's
if it's
fair. It's a shitty
3,000.
situation.
But
I don't think there's a great answer.
It is a hard
That's,
one.
Okay.
But then on the other hand, it's like there's so many people as well that's like you can't do a draft system as well for the NFL where it's like they draft the best players to their worst possible player, because there is a worst player in the NFL right now. Who it is, it's completely personal or excuse me, subjective. But like, you know, there's a drafting system that like kind of made the NFL what it is right now. Same with the NHL, the NBA. It's not like everybody just got. You don't have like, I don't know, like Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Steph Curry, like all on the same team. We've had super
salary
teams.
caps go a long way to even out teams, right?
How is it in the letter? It says, "This is a competitive tournament to showcase the best outfit on Araxis, and the recursion loses to pigs or something." Like that doesn't make any sense.
So
that makes
yes,
zero sense.
but
They're not
then-
showcasing the best outfit. They're not the best outfit.
When I talked to Rel,
we
it
don't
was
know what we wanna
almost
be.
like that wasn't their intent. It's just that's how it's being marketed when it comes
Are we
to
proofreading?
No, for real. I'm just saying, like when it's being marketed like that, like that's the assumption. And I agree with you
Yes.
100,000%. Where it's like the best team, and I was actually watching Deeg's stream yesterday. He had a lot of good points as well, where he was just talking about like how the community gets to the point that it's at right now. And like shout out Deeg. Deeg's super underrated content.
He's a hustler,
super
bro.
analytic. Shout out Deeg TV. But like when it comes down to the way the community's set up, there's just not enough people. The resources there to make sure that the teams are semi-even, and it's not like your local middle school basketball team versus the Golden State Warriors. Like, you know, because I understand the better team deserves to win. And the better team is not decided before the match. It's decided during the match based on execution, preparation, and then the people that show up. But there's like a mixture. There's a middle ground somewhere. If we're not going to change the format, because I agree, I want it to be 1v1. I want the best outfits to go against the best outfits at the end of the day. That's what the playoffs are. You know, there are shitty NFL teams that play through the season and go 0-16
For
But, like,
years.
For years, they suck, right? But then they slowly get better, and I understand that. But then on the other hand, this isn't the NFL. Like, people don't play the game like we play it, where it's
It's like football, bro. There's so many other things that are cheesy or lame that it still works in the structure. Again, StarCraft 2, there's like they have 128 people tournaments, and guess what? At the start of the tournament, there's some really shitty players that absolutely get dunked on, that are like gold tier or whatever tier you have to make it to get to the qualifier, but no one watches that, and then they start streaming the round of 32 or whatever. Like, it's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
No
whittle
one's
away.
saying NFL versus high school.
You could
It's
talk
just
about
your
it in the
shit,
sense of,
and you're good. That's it.
well, true. You could talk about it in the sense of what's it called again? It's like the Smash tournaments and Tekken tournaments. They do like all the fighting games like in the same. I forget what it's called, and somebody could in chat could probably tell me. It's just the name is leaving me for a sec. But like the like those tournaments, they have hundreds of people participating, and it's like, you know, there's some dog shit Smash players that get knocked out in the very first round, and then the best players get to the end. But I think, serious, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, I think your point is more of like the unpredictability almost makes it a little bit more enjoyable to watch, because it's not always going to just be like, if Recursion versus Pigs, Recursion will win. There's at least some like gambling almost involved, where it's almost like marbles, where I throw up 3 marbles and then like whoever wins is just super randomized.
I mean, I do pitch some of that, but the biggest pitch is, and I understand, I mean, Aeflic's right. I mean, maybe they can just compete for 4th and 5th place. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. If you went out and compete and you earned that, that's still better than the person that didn't even show up, you know? So that's,
right. Or you make something that's so good and people like it so much that, for instance, like Pill 6v6 Infantry Tournament, there was dog shit teams. They came back, and they got better. Do this on B-Way, and they did really, really well. They were dog shit, and they got good. Now, obviously, you scale the 48 is different, but like the idea of like coming back and getting better and better and better until you are able to overtake something is, like you said, with the NFL, they're shitty teams and they get better over the years. If you have to create something good so that people will come back to it instead of just burning people out and people getting frustrated and leaving. 60-man rosters is ridiculous. How many teams are backs can't participate? We can't. We don't have that many players. Yet in game, you have, you're an outfit. You can sort the outfit browser by 5 to 20 people or 500 people or infantry only outfits or combined arms. Like, and I get like the idea of planet side. I get that, but I just have frustrations in regards to. I just feel like it's an excuse for what it is when it doesn't have to do that, and we could do other things to make it better.
Right. I'm going tangential here a little bit, but on that note, I think part of it is having the 48 target. What they want to happen is that an outfit like Bax or whatever that wants to compete will recruit, will bring into the fold additional lost planet men and women that are roaming around out there in the Zergs or whatever and don't. So they're I think part of it is they're really hoping these outfits will bring themselves up. The problem is there's no salary caps in PlanetSide 2, right? So what's going to happen is the 4 best outfits there are going to combine into one, and you
MLG.
get one outfit that's
Yeah.
so
MLG
far ahead.
But then the other issue
everyone
with
else,
it as
but-
well is like, because I 100% I agree with you in the sense of like, people are just going to get the best people that they can. And when it comes down to the competitive format, it's like we're playing to win, or the majority of people are. Some people are playing for the moral victory. I don't really convey the same interest as them, I guess. But the people who are going for the win condition, whether it's first place or they feel like they can make it to third place just by playing their best, they're not. The amount of mergers that occurred in Emerald upon announcement of Outfit Wars was just an indicator of how Outfit Wars is not a good strategy for outfit recruitment. Just because we don't have the time, nor do we
True.
want to spend the time, training people who are BR like 1 to 50, for example, because even a BR 40 is pretty new to the game, honestly. But, we don't want to train someone BR 1 to 50 on how to get like better in this format so that when we get to the actual competition, they will be as capable or even more capable than I am as a player who's like ASP 100 on multiple accounts, because it's just not feasible both in the timeline and in the sense of what I want to, spend my resources at. Like I want to work on outfit cohesion. I want to work on the strategicals that I'm going to do, whether it's construction or it's vehicles or it's aircraft or it's infantry play. Like I want to focus on all of those things, and I just don't have the time to recruit someone. So what is the alternative there? Well, my outfit usually has 12 people live on during prime time. And then, other outfit there has 12 people. Other outfit there has 12. Okay, we need 48. We combine our outfit under one banner, and then we play there. And that's the outfit alliance thing that didn't make it to live, but it basically did because we did it on our own. And like for Emerald, you can look at help where it's Arc, Reapers, and help combined. Hour and Salt. 3-way is B-way and Prey and L-way. It's like there's a bunch of these mergers going on because, again, you don't have enough people. Then on the opposite side there, what I was talking about is Outfit Wars does do a good thing when it comes to older veterans that have been playing the game. So I'm talking about the people who have almost been, I don't even know what the word, they've been demonized by like this vocal minority as being cheaters. Their outfit slowly died and they're one of the last peoples on their dead tag. So it's like, like the TIW people, the people in solo outfits that are just farming like expeditions to get orbital strikes and stuff like that. Because why would I want to be in an outfit as an older player, but be like a private and then not get access to orbital strikes, citadel shields? Like I want to be able to drop that whenever I want because I've been playing the game forever. So now the devs have given, like for me as a great example, Landwell is another good example of somebody who's basically like in an alt fit, not to call the Beetlejuice division an alt fit, but like they're not running ops, for example. Like you're giving these veterans finally an excuse or a reason to join an outfit and to actually get involved in that sort of meta where we're playing in a squad, we're playing in a platoon format. But then they're getting called ringers, where it's like, there is a good chance that a lot of the people, and a lot of the people are in my chat because a good amount of them are from help, where it's like, the people who got picked up, the onesies and twosies, not really the conglomerates of like outfits that got merged in, but just the onesies and twosies, like the pilots, like they're likely going to stay in that community and keep playing with that outfit. And that's a good way to bring in veterans who in the beginning had no reason to join an outfit and were just a solo player, are now in an outfit because they have a reason to. So that's just like my opinion on both sides, whether it's like the new players, it's like the outfits don't really care about bringing in new players because they need the best players because they want to win. And then the older players are getting demonized for even playing in the outfits and joining them because they're being seen as ringers. And it's like, it's this like never ending cycle of there will always be a reason to get mad.
Bro, I gotta say, Emerald, you guys are just a bunch of noobs that you're only creating alliances in one faction. It's really amateur. You guys haven't risen to Connery's level yet.
True.
Cross-faction alliances are the future.
There has been some rumblings about like after that happening with R18 and Pale Tiger, where it's like some people have apparently been talking. I'm not gonna say any names because you need like hard evidence, but like People have come to me because I've been covering. I'm the senior war correspondent of Outfit Wars, live from the ground, live from the battlefield. But people have been talking about like, okay, now even Emerald sides are like, I'll give you first, and I'm likely gonna get third. But maybe if you're down, I'll help make sure you get first, but you just give me second. And then they're just like, I'll get back to you on that. But like, you see, it's like that sort of thing where it's like, it's transactional, because even second place is incentivized. It's like, I know I'm going to get last. Why don't I go to the people that I think I can help get first and just be like, but just leave us alone. I'll just get second, you get first, and then they'll get third, but then I'll still get an incentive because I got second. And it's like, that stuff is coming now. And that's why, like, I was telling Rel in your chat, like I didn't even know he's in your chat, honestly. I wasn't reading. I was just like, I'm sure the devs will have a response soon, because they really need to say something about this, or else it's, this week is going to have more drama than last weekend, and the next weekend's going to be more and more. So
I gotta say, you went a little hard with do your job, bro. You went a little bit hard there.
Well, I get told to do that by my boss, so mostly that was just a quote. Maybe I was projecting there, but I was just kind of like, he said, like, what do you want me to do? I was like, just do your job, bro. Like, but yeah, maybe it was a little hard.
I guess I should say it came across hard. I don't think you were really
when it's text. When it's text, it's hard to get the like the intent of the message. But like, me and Rel squashed it out. We talked live, big man shit that he did, hopping on stream, like, and just talking to me about it. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'll let you guys continue. I guess that point though of just like, I guess.
So here's the deal. I guess we need a salary of Daybreak Cash or Rel Bucks or whatever, some new Rel Bucks that can buy something cool.
Like ISO 4, you have like 100,000
another
ISO 4
currency.
That you can distribute. No, it's the same currency, but you can only distribute it among certain amount of players. But then they'll all just take one.
If I had to scroll through my currencies, I'm gonna lose it, bro. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
True. Well, I guess I kind of brought it up, but I'd like to hear, like, what do you guys think, if any, should there be a developer response, whether it's punitive, format change, incentivizing first over second or third more? Like, is there anything that you think, and I kind of focus it towards Serious, but I also want Aeflic's input just from like a sports player, somebody who's watched and played sports avidly.
Thanks, bud.
Well, no, because Serious knows like Connery more. It's like, how do you get R18 and Pigs to want to beat a Recursion without wanting to be in last place like Pigs did? Like, that's kind of what I mean. Where it's like somebody hates another team so much that they're willing to let the other team win and then them lose and be the laughing stock.
Shocker, 1v1 is not a good format. Anyway, continue.
So like, that's what I want. Like, do you just make it 1v1? Do you punish players who do this so that nobody wants to do it off of precedence? Like, there's so many things that people are bringing up on Reddit that like, I'm just like, I just close it, bro. I don't even like scrolling through that website, but I'll let you guys go.
Well, and I gotta say, there was a lot of good discussion on Reddit. I mean, there's a lot of good on every side. I got to go through that sometime myself, but yeah. And here's the thing. I thought in the first one, we figured it out, right? We showed that, look, Pigs can beat Recursion and DPSO because DPSO and Recursion had to fight each other the whole time in their match. So I was like, wait, guys, we showed that you can just go and play and everyone has a chance. And now this happens anyway. So honestly, I'm at a complete loss. How do you? Yeah, I think you have to. I know Pale Tiger's been banned before for things, I only think it can be a slap on the wrist. Sorry, I think some people will be like, no, jettison him forever. I think it's got to be a slap on the wrist, but I do think you have to say, look, you guys can't do that. Aeflic, what do you think?
Sure, they need to say something, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're not changing the fact that this could happen again, or we can just not make it look as bad as they made it look. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you ban them, slap on the wrist, whatever you do. Doesn't change the fact that you have them sign a fucking slip. It doesn't matter. It's still available to be done. So how do we move forward from here now? Where there's not this back end like, hey, last 20 minutes, we'll really pick it up on them. We'll send a squad over to you, whatever. We'll kind of exchange some bases. You know what I mean? Like, it's not now it's brought into the limelight of everyone's like, oh, Recursion's hacking. I'm sure my server has some hackers on it. We better team up against them. Like, it just becomes, again, integrity loses it. No one wants to play in it. Now what do we do? I don't.
Yeah, I think this was an oversight, just in the sense of outfit politicals. Like there's so much stuff that goes behind the scenes that, like, I don't use this as an insult, but like the average like Archie viewer, for example, won't know, because they're more just watching it for the spectacle. They don't play the game as much. They don't interface as much with the other outfits. They're not in command chat. They're not shit posting on Reddit. Like they just play the game solo, or they play it with their outfit, but like in an open platoon, and then they watch the game on Twitch now because the devs are like, check out Outfit Wars this weekend on Twitch from 11 a.m. Eastern to like 10 p.m. or whatever. So it's like, oh, I'll check it out. Like, well, what is Outfit Wars? So I think like, you know, the average person won't really realize that. But then, yeah, like when you go into like my chat, your chat, Sirius's chat, even Kamikaze's chat, maybe like, cause those are more like, those are players that are like played the game, I think a little bit more, and they have like their streamer. Like they won't just click the #1 streamer. They're looking for like like they're looking for Commander Serious because they want to watch Commander Serious. Like they'll have a little bit more info because again, like they played in Connery or they played on Emerald and they know like, yeah, Pigs hates recursion so much that they'd rather lose and get the moral victory than try to win and then, you know, and actually win. It's like imagine if they had actually won, kind of like how you said in that first one. It's like this honestly wouldn't really be a conversation at all. Like I think the conversation would still be like, it's not competitive. Come on, bro. Like recursion didn't win, bro. They deserve the win. But like,
why are you trying to sound like me, bro?
It's like, bro,
I'm right here. I'm still on the call.
Because people have been saying that though. No, that's just my. It's like, bro, nobody, dude. They deserve the win and they didn't get the dub. It's like, you know, and it's a copy pasta. It's a meme. It's like, it's not about like winning or whatever via like balance or something. It's about managing the imbalance. I've seen Gretchen spam it in like everyone's chats where it's like, that is a meme, but like, the format has merit because I've played in it and it's fun. I just don't know what to say. As somebody that watches it and as a caster, that's why I'm so torn. Like I don't want to seem like I don't have an opinion, but it's like as a player, I liked it. As a caster, I absolutely despised it. You can watch me stream it. I was like, what is this dog shit? Like I can't see anything. When I zoom in, I don't know what's going on because I'm only looking at the 1v1 and all this map stuff is going on behind me and I don't know. But then if I zoom out, I don't see any fighting and I'm just looking at a map screen where it's like VS are attacking this base, NC is attacking this one at the same time. Which one do I go to? Let me flip the coin. It's like, it's too hard to like as a caster, and people are like, yo, you should have like a whole production team over there behind you, Shoctorr. It's like, switch to camera 5. It's like, all right, let me switch. like that's
go.
Right. It's like we don't do that. We're not being paid for this, right? 6 consoles. Yeah. So it's like the Outfit Wars has merit as a format, in my opinion, because I had fun playing it, and I know a lot of people have had fun playing it. But as a viewing experience, it incentivizes bad behaviors. Just by, you know, for attention-seeking behavior. If you have the ability to get some attention just by being like, you know, an edgy individual, it's like, we're gonna throw. It's like, oh man, let me post on Reddit and make 20,000 memes now and try to farm upvotes. It's like, that's an incentive. That's winning for people. So that's my opinion, because I would love a 1v1 format where I can not only verse other factions, but I can verse the same outfits on the same factions. Like, how do I know if Help is better than Hour? I will never know that because they'll never verse each other. How do I know if KN1 is better than... Or how do I know if like 69 KD is better than 3-way? It's like, it's stuff like that. Like you'll never like learn that because just the way the format's set up. And Rel has said that like they're looking at it and they'd like to discover the idea, but like, you know, we're dealing. And I guess another question I kind of want to ask both of you. It's you know, I tweeted at Rel because I was being called like toxic and he's deleted the tweet since, but like on fuck you.
Well, it's really the other thing that you were called, not so much toxic.
Well, that, but then it was, yeah, but the I also
fill me in.
Oh, so Picard called me a racist and said that I say racial slurs. Yeah, so and I say racial slurs.
You might get ran up on, bro.
It's like, dude, I've been streaming every day since September. You don't think I would have been denounced by the community by now and banned from Twitch? Like, you're not allowed to say any of those things. But then also, it wasn't really that. Like, I didn't care. It's like, it's Picard. I'll just ban him from my chat. I don't care. It's just a guy. Like, I've seen his streams and I've seen his opinions. I laugh it off and I move on. But then what gave it merit was Rel responding with, yes, it's unfortunate to see somebody encouraging toxic behavior in the community, almost indirectly saying like, yes, Shoctorr is a racist. And I was just like, dang, bro, like you've been on my stream multiple times.
But they did hash it out. They did walk it back. Rel did a really good job. I was actually surprisingly shocked.
Yeah, he came on my
that was
stream.
professional.
Yeah, it was some big man shit to do that. But like, you know, some people weren't there for the stream. It's like some people may have saw the tweet. People active, like there are alerts on people's discords every time Rel tweets, and then people like religiously check those. Like, oh, what did he say this time? And then they go, Shoctor's a racist, weird. And then they close it, and then that's the last thing they'll ever hear about me. So it's like deleting the tweet is like one thing, but I appreciate him going like, hey, I apologize, and we talked about some other stuff, and then we hashed it out, and like he refollowed the channel. We're all good now, but there are some like residual effects that I don't know if like I've been affected by or not, and we'll just have to wait and see. Because like
your future doing pretty good, bro. So chill out.
Whatever, dude. Like it's just a matter of like, you know, one of these days someone's gonna come in my chat and be like, "Aren't you that racist?" And I'll be like, "Dude, like, like it's just sad." But what I responded with outside of that was, on July 10th, 2020. Aeflic and I uploaded our first episode of the podcast. It was about Outfit Wars. And we had a bunch of constructive feedback. We didn't say a single bad thing about the developers nor the people that played in it. We just gave our feedback. And I think Rel was in the chat too. I don't remember. We didn't have the chat on the screen around then. We were still figuring out the whole setup. But like we gave a lot of constructive feedback. And then from then, again, July 10th, 2020, now to March 2nd, 2021, what's changed in the format outside of like the tournament generation part of it, where it's like that pre-match of letting everybody play, like, and it feels like there hasn't been any change.
But I mean, that's a pretty big milestone for, like, you got to remember, this is not a big team out there.
And no, and
Like,
and Rel said on the stream, like, you don't understand, like, and if anybody has like a better idea, he literally asked, like, if anybody has a better idea on paper, like, go ahead and tell us. But it was like a matter of
bases that you already have in the game, like a tech plant or something. You don't need donuts. Sorry.
Well, no, he was talking about that beginning part where it's like, how do you get it so that outfits can just play? But like, I agree. But on the other hand, I was like, if it's not ready, it's not ready. Like, you can't call it an alpha, but then hype it up on stream, tell everybody that they can play in it, and then not expect that sort of feedback where it's like, bro, it's 9 bases that look exactly the same. Like, I don't even know where I am when I'm playing or when I'm casting because all the bases look the same. So
here's the problem. If they were different, people would scream bias for one warp gate.
Tech plants, bro.
I guess, but I feel like
Yeah, I guess just position 9 tech plants, are you thinking?
It's better than the donut. There's just automatically better. No matter what you do, it's just better than the donut.
Like, I guess the donut's on the outskirts where it's like the home bases, but like once you get to the center, I think there should be a center focal point just to be like, yo, like, fight each other in that 1v1v1. Like, if the format is 1v1v1, like, give us the opportunity to see 1v1v1 battle so that there is some push and pull. Kind of like how Nason's Defiance is that center base. Now, obviously, don't just give it to a faction so that they have like the defense ability to just be able to spawn in. But if you're going to give that 1v1v1 sort of mentality, give us the 1v1v1 gameplay too, outside of just zooming out. And I agree with Aeflic. Whether it's a tech plant, it's Nason's Defiance, it's an amp station, it's a biolab. There are all these buildings that are literally just Control-C, Control-V onto and see if you can get it to fit. But again, like, you can't just make those assumptions. There are technical limitations probably, but like it's super, super shallow in my opinion, where I'm going in and it's like, it's just a donut, and it's the same donut that was behind us that we just captured. And as a player, again, like, the only thing that makes it fun right now, in my opinion, is playing with other people. And that's never been a good excuse for video games, because if somebody ever reaches out to you and goes, hey, bro, it's fun with friends, it's like, literally any game can be fun with friends. So I'd like your guys' opinion on that too, where it's like, you know, is it shallow? Like, were you kind of disappointed when it came back and it just looked exactly the same? Or were you kind of like, we're still in the works of it? I think it's just a matter of like how they brought it out, not just them bringing it out, if that makes sense.
If I can just real quick and then you can jump in.
Go ahead, bro.
He said it in the Discord call when you guys are hashing things out. Just trying to get the bracket figured out. He said it was a huge undertaking. It took a lot of time. Because it hasn't been done before. People don't. We keep trying to walk PlanetSide into all these new territories. Where we can pull some strength from things that have already been done before, aka 1v1. Like, we're focusing on something that it's so hard for them to do, and they have such a small team, and then it's like, well, okay, let's just rush out donuts because that's all we can do right now. Like,
so they're reinventing the wheel without really needing to reinvent the wheel.
We don't have to. And my thing is, like, realistically, very rarely are you actually really. And I get like the large aspect of it, but realistically, you're not really getting a 1v1v1. Like you're not running TR and CMDRCyrious are not running into each other at a fight. Okay, it's just not happening. It doesn't really even happen on live that often. And very rarely does it happen. So realistically, you're having 1v1s, a ghost cap. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's happening on Outfit Wars. And it's like we're not even. It's the idea versus the reality, and we keep forcing this idea, and then we're getting this reality. But we're not worried about the reality. We're just like, no, this is what it is. And it's like, okay, but no, it's not necessarily that. And that's we just keep going in the circle, you know?
So do we go just like fight in Koltir and whoever holds the most bases in the middle longest? Is like that the next 1v1v1 event? Or is it, do we full on switch over to 1v1 and ditch the 3-way?
It depends on what the intent is. Go ahead, Aeflic. I feel like I've been talking way too much, bro.
No, you made a really good point about Nason's. Like, and okay, and again, what sucks about this is like the only way to do Outfit Wars is the way that they're doing it is shooting it to live and testing it because it's just such a different thing. So like I get that aspect of it, and I get that. But if we really want a 1v1 feel, it's like, what if we had something like Nason's Final? I don't know if it's 1 point or 3 points that are kind of close together, and you have this idea of like it's a neutral base, and like you have like a triangle spawn, and then like you're all kind of like fight towards that, but then like that's 150 people roughly in like a small area. I don't know how you even design a map that would work like that. But I mean, I've talked about that on live, just changing Nason's Defiance into like a triangle base or all the bases like that on the opening of a continent. It's a neutral base. You have 3 different spawns that are equal distance, and then yeah, you're fighting over the 3 cap points or the 1 cap point or whatever it is. And I'm curious how that would play out. And that's I feel like maybe a way of doing Outfit Wars. But then now you're talking about scrap and desolate. You're back to ground zero. So it's like I don't know.
It's like again, like
it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say it depends on the intent of the developers. Are you making an esport? Because it's being marketed as one. Like again, like if you're gonna say that it's not an esport and we're just like hyping it up just so people are interested in playing it, like that can at least I guess be kind of an explanation. But it's still hard because the idea of an esport where the best team that doesn't win is just weird. It's not like an underdog story where it's like in speedrunners where it was like Alpha was coming back and Zyros was like 20 kills ahead and then Alpha brought it down to like 3 and it was down to the wire. Everyone's like Monka Wing in chat. I'm blasting, running in the 90s. Everyone's like eyes are glued to the screen. Like that's an underdog story. But a team doing better in the beginning because they just had a better start and then later getting double teamed because they had the most resources. I don't really call that an underdog story. It was just more of like who got focused faster. So it's just a matter of like, what is the intent? Now, if it's just a game mode for outfits to have the ability to play in and just queue up for instanced gameplay, like the first type of, like if it's Battlefield essentially, like Battlefield Bad Company 2 is one of my favorite games from when I was younger on the 360. It's like, I never saw it as an esport, but it was a fun game to play in. Would I watch people play Bad Company 2? No. But playing Conquest, playing Rush, etc. was really fun. And I think that's the major disconnect when it comes to like, it doesn't have to be an esport. It can be a thing in the game, and it could stay the same way it is if people really love it and want to keep playing it and queuing up for it. But it's just a matter of the intent and then how they continue to cater it. Because I think it's too widely catered at the moment, where it's like we want it to be an esport, but we also want it to be an instanced mode that you can play whenever you want. And it's like, okay, like let's focus on one first at least. Like, do we want balance and like esports are, or do we want chaos and that the thing that makes PlanetSide fun? That's why I have like this issue, because I want it to be 1v1. My personal opinion is I want it to be 1v1. I want the best outfits to verse each other, and I want be like same faction outfits to verse each other as well. But if that's a possibility, I don't know.
Was Chaos not in Server Smash?
It was, but it was so massive. I think that they can't really replicate that. So
again, you scale it down or whatnot. But my whole point is like Chaos can be had in other. It's not like 1v1 is the only Chaos we get. You know what I mean? Like it. And honestly, when the other two factions team up against the other faction, it's no different than a 1v1 with more pop on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. The colors might be a little bit different. That's what Pig and R18 really made that clear when there's no fight going on, and it's just 48 plus however many they had 20, we'll say. It's like what? So we're talking 68 now versus 48?
No,
at least it's controlled in a 1v1, it's 48v48, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's why it gets a little
the intention
weird.
is super muddied because it's just like I don't know what Like, I don't know what Rel and the developers want. Like, do they want an esport or do they want like an instance game mode to queue up for? And if they want both, it's like, it's going to be hard to do both at the same time with such a brand new idea where we're reinventing the wheel. Like, we're trying to put spheres on our car and we're wondering why we keep veering to the side. It's like, the wheel needs to be straight or else you won't go the same way all the time.
That's why I said you scale it up. You start small. If you want it to be 48 eventually, you turn it into 48 eventually. Like you just work the ground up and you build upon what actually works first instead of doing everything. Construction, combined arms, 48 v48 v48, everything all at once. New map, new bases. Donuts aren't anywhere in the game. We're doing everything from scratch, and we're gonna have all the planet side in it at the same time. And here you go. It's just crazy.
I'm jumping back a year. I think part of it is like the biggest high for PlanetSide in recent memory was the escalation patch. And the thing about it is it dropped a lot of stuff, right? The Bastion made it, while it sort of lost its luster, it was like it made PlanetSide seem huge. We had Outfit Wars. What else happened in that one? I'm forgetting.
There's like the Colossus tank update that I can remember.
Well, that was a little later, right? Escalation hit, and there were 3 big points. I guess my question to you guys is...
during that specific update. Oh,
that big update, because that's the one where like we were riding high, we had the most pop. And the question for me is, I guess Outfit Wars, yeah, chat's kind of got me or Outfit Resources. What do you guys think was the big draw in that patch? Was it the hype surrounding Bastions? Was it the fact that outfits could get Outfit Resources, like kind of a more, the sort of public outfit, large outfit kind of work to more objectives? Or was it Outfit Wars that brought everyone back?
I think to scope it back, because people are saying Bastions, I think it's just new content hitting live that looks like it'll change the game. It's literally clickbait content for like a free-to-play game where it's like, what is this? Like if you look at the YouTube trailer, it has so many views because it's like this massive thing. And there's so many additions that it's like, it's that scoping of it's clickbait and it gets people to download the game. And that's why so many people are touching it. So I don't think it's one specific thing.
The best thing, PlanetSide is really good at trailers.
Yeah.
The PSA, I was like, damn, bro, I might blow up my stream. Skirt. You know what I mean? Like, it looked great.
It seems like going to this year, they're now like, okay, we're going to the year. We got to find some big hype. Do we, they've got a campaign they're trying to get done. They've already said content for this year. They've said new player experience. They've said NSO, and we're trying to deliver Outfit Wars. So like, I think they're trying to find that big patch, and maybe they have to sharpen their pencil and focus on one of those things.
So like a new continent is something else that I think would be like a perfect thing, which is like super good for clickbait at least. Because I hate using the word clickbait. It has a negative connotation, but that's literally what it is. It's like a massive Bastion. Everybody is a real player. Click on this trailer. People watch it and they're like, holy crap. I've never seen a game like this. It's free. What? It says free to play at the end of the trailer. Go to this link now. Boom. Click. Download. Go ahead. But then it's really complicated to get started on. Once you get started and you feel like you get your feet on the ground, then people are telling you it's full of cheaters. There's like all of this stuff that kind of like makes it so it's hard to actually stay within the game, even though you got them with that thing. You got them with whatever nugget got them. Even if it was just that Colossus tank trailer, where it's like, holy, that's a massive tank. I want to play that game. It's like at least one person downloaded the game for the first time because they saw that trailer. So it's like, but it's not just releasing a new continent.
You had a good one. You've been holding on to it. What's up?
No, you're fine. Go ahead. We'll let Shoctorr finish this point.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's just whatever it is, make sure it's catered to live gameplay, because how do you get somebody to download the game with Outfit Wars? Like, I don't even know what it is. I saw the trailer. It says Outfit Wars is back. And you're like, cool. What is that? Like, it doesn't really tell. I don't know. It doesn't really tell you anything. But I guess the Bastion trailer, it's like massive plane, massive tank, new continent, new guns. Like even Valorant gets new players to come back with just new skins and cosmetics. Like no change to the gameplay. Yep. It's just like, holy crap! Check out the new MSWR Zealot edition, and people are like, whoa! That looks sick. I gotta log in. I reinstalled Valorant.
It's got an elephant trinket.
Yeah, like or it's like it turns into a dragon. Like it's just like it's dumb clickbait stuff. But at the end of the game, it brings people to play the game, and it's not just those surface level things that become that meta. There is a meta underneath PlanetSide. We've had it for a long time. The gunplay feels good. People like the vehicles. People like a lot of stuff with PlanetSide. It's just how do you get people to try it? And it's clickbait. It's like, this sandwich is delicious. You've never tried this sauce before. It's like, I've tried the sandwich before. I've had a burger, but this sauce might be the thing that makes me try the sandwich. I order it and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. And then it becomes one of the things I eat occasionally. But go ahead. If like
I'm a simpleton. Most people are simpletons. I like just a cheeseburger with a bacon on it. Okay, I don't need whatever you. We're putting some vanilla on it now. Like what? No, stop. Why is there ice cream on my burger? Just quit. Stop it. Bastion Colossus tank. I'm gonna download the game. Oh wait a minute. My outfit leader gets that. My outfit leader pilots that.
Don't get me started on PlanetSide 2 reward distribution. All right, I'm tired of the 1% getting everything. But keep going.
Oh, I didn't log on last night to get the bash. Okay. Oh, my outfit sucks. It's gonna take us 6 months to get the bash. Okay. Oh, my outfit doesn't even care about the bash. Okay. We keep trying to recreate the wheel, and I always bring up StarCraft 2. They make new maps. And then they run tournaments. There's not a bunch of new units coming out, or we're changing the fucking way that we do all these things. It works. We build off what works, and we just make new maps. Cosmetics, great. Make some money too. Okay, that's easy. That attracts people. New maps, great. And I would hope, even though Esmer was a bit dog shit, the update to it, we would learn after 9 years of map making or playing the game, understanding the game, how to make bases and how to scale them and how to make a new map so that you have good bases. What sucks about PlanetSide? Bad bases. Good bases, create good fights, people have fun. And even when I get 30 kills and you cap the base, we both win. Everyone's happy. Or maybe I defend the base and then you don't cap it, whatever. But that's like, and I can understand you work on the game all day, you don't want to play it for 4 hours every night. I get that. But you have to play the game to understand the game. And understand what's good about the game. What did Shoctorr like about the game? And what were your most favorite memories? Matheson versus Watterson and like fighting for their server name, like that had an impact. And like everyone was there. AC was there. DA was there. Everybody was fucking there. Didn't matter if you're an elite fit to a Zerk fit. Everyone wanted to participate and fucking shit on other people. Like we keep trying to recreate the wheel and like all these new things, and it's like we don't need that. We don't need it. And Outfit Wars, I think, is for outfits and to bring old people back to like this excitement thing, but it's not fleshed out. Keep it simple. I keep saying it. Just keep it simple. That's all we want. I play PlanetSide because I like the gunplay. That's it. I like the gunplay. I don't need a bunch of other new things that could potentially kill it. Just build off the base. I'm done. I'm sorry. That's
100%.
So is that it, every 3 months you bring out a new weapon for the vets to grind, and then every year you bring out a new continent for the hype cycle, or like what's the simple look like?
Not even new weapons. Let's look at the 2020. I know we have so many. Look at the 20.
Just another skin, or was it?
Look at the 2020 bundle that we got. Was it the 8-year bundle? I think it was 8 years, right? We got what we usually got, right? We got new guns that were just the same guns but looked different. But I think this one pushed something that I haven't really seen from the game before, which it was an NS15 pack. It was a themed pack similar to what you would see from like a Valorant, where like they have these themed reskins, but then they have almost like I don't know. It's a nice little twist to it where you're like I've used the NS15 before, but like I want this. Like I bought it. I don't know if you guys bought it, but I gave him the $80 and I bought it. I got my what's it called again? Endeavor, I think it's called, where it's like the Endeavor series, where it's the NS15. Correct, yep. And it's a brand new model. And like again, it doesn't have to be at all a brand new version. It doesn't have to be like the Watchman or the Maw or the what's the other one for the NC called? I hate it, but I don't. The Promise, I think it's called. It doesn't have to be a new weapon model that people will then go, it's broken, it sucks, nerf it. Like you have things that are in the game that people love, but you're not catering your monetary process and the things that people want to do to what they already do. Like we're not getting a reskinned Orion. We haven't gotten a reskinned Anchor. Like we haven't gotten a reskinned MSWR. I mean, Aeflic has, but like it's like that. Like why can't there be like a service series where it's like it's the service Anchor, the service GR22, the service pistol, the service the SASR. Like look at your analytics and see, 90% of my players are using the Orion. I could monetize that. 90% of my players are using the Terminus over the Pulsar or whatever it's called, the starter one. It's like, well, let me sell that too. It's like, give me some stuff, because you have whales. People want, and I said this to Deeg last night. I was like,
Chuck Baller. Shout out Chuck Baller.
I was like, do you give us the Warpaint edition of like the MSWR, the TAR, and like the what's it called? The Karn 88, whatever it's called, the SAR.
That's a really good one. Chuck will be all over that. That's actually brilliant.
And it's like those will be things that people would love to do. And even if it's not game changing, we're not asking for game changing content. Don't change the game. I love the game. It's fun. Make the map design better over time, but give us something to do while we're waiting. Outfit Wars isn't something to do while I wait. That's 30 minutes of a week. Like I have to wait a whole week to play my game for 30 minutes. That's why I'm ringing in the first place, so I can play at least twice and make it an hour. So it's like, I want to see that, where it's like the Endeavor series gave people something to grind to. It gave you something new to do, because it was a new version of a gun that looked sick. You got to actually see the cosmetic. It's not like an armor thing that you only see when somebody kills you or when you go to the own character screen. You see it all the time when you use it. It reminds you that you have something cool. It makes you feel cool, and then you can grind a directive while you use it and then unlock something later. And on the podcast with Rel, when Aeflic and I interviewed him, he said that is one of their biggest moneymakers. Why only once a year? Like, I know the team might not be big enough, but 4 times a year, once a month, that would be sick. Like, just getting more resources put towards that, because then again, the more money you make, the more you can scale things up, and then the more you can make these features that you want to do, but with more effectiveness and more QA behind them.
See, that parallels a point, and seriously, if you want to, I know we've been kind of going back and forth, but that parallels a point of keep it simple. Making a new weapon with new damage model and balancing that and making
You're risking
like a new
a lot.
mechanic. Well, it's hard and it's new. A reskin of a weapon that's already there is less work than a new skin and a new weapon that's balanced, and then tweaking that, right? Like a thump or something. Which goes back to my point of like making new continents.
But you're right.
Well, the middle bases is what's the warp gates are not all the way open or whatever, so everyone gravitates towards the middle base. That should be the best base on the continent, and the next bases around it should be better. At the warp gate, it doesn't matter. Copy pasta 3 bases that work. Who cares? My thing is like I don't care about a unique base if it's dog shit. Not com is it not com? That's not the underground base. It's just the worst.
It's 3 points and it's just SNA from before.
It's unique, but it's the worst experience you could ever imagine. We don't need that. Just if a base works, it works. And this also makes it easier. A tech plant or a biolab with slight changes everything. There's biolabs that you go to the teleporter, and for the secondary generator, and right when you go to the teleporter where the fat stairs are, there's a door there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that door is not there at a biolab and changes the entire biolab flow. Same thing with Ezimer Isotech plant. It has a wall on the outside. It just changes the feel slightly. It's not a lot of extra work. You're not redesigning the whole tech plant. You're just doing a door here, a window here.
No, that's a valid point, because it's like those little changes make really big changes in the flow. And then also, like, when it comes to like understanding, like we're asking for these new things, right? But there's an extent that how much we'd like to see. Like, I feel like there's 2 issues that I see. People are like, well, Shoctorr, there are variants of like guns already. There's the NS15 Platinum, Gold, Black. It's like those are just camos on top of the gun. Like, I don't want my NS15 to look like it's covered in aluminum foil. I want it to look like it's like a new version of the gun. You good, bro?
Yeah,
right. The animation, the audio,
right?
Everything is buffed up. That is big.
And then the networked series too, with the NSX weapons, where it's like it's that camo that's like moving. It's like those green lines that are moving. Like, I think that's cool too. That's not like a huge change in everything. It's more of a subtle change. But I think that's enough where I was like, that looks cool, and I bought it. I'm a whale, bro. I buy things in the game because I support the game. I play it all the time, and I'd love to look cool in the game. But I think another issue that we see is gatekeeping of what can and cannot be a cosmetic in the game. There's like, I forget the person's name, and we saw the Reddit post yesterday, where there's like a cat girl helmet for TR that the person wants to have in the game, but has been declined over and over again because it's not, per the TR faction. But at this point, who cares? Like, if people are willing to buy it and will wear the helmet and it doesn't ruin the gameplay experience for someone else, that they're like, oh, I didn't know that was a TR person because they were wearing a cat helmet. No one will ever say that, but it'll make the money. and it'll also be something that like I'd be like, cool, like something finally in the game that I'll buy. I would buy a Catgirl helmet even if I'm not like that uwu anime guy in general. Like it's just something new. So
There's a bunch of TR cosmetics that I'm like, dude, they get the best shit. NC looks like a bunch of douchebags.
right? It's like I think a lot of the gatekeeping on like who can have what cosmetics, where it's like, well, only VS can have the Catgirl helmet because they're like the anime, space girls or whatever. It's like, who cares at this point? Like give as much as possible for the person to feel like they're in an MMO and they can be themselves. Like when you do that, I feel like it's almost like a thing where it's like you're not allowed to like things outside of what we like in this faction. And then people, I guess, are more prone to either switch factions or not play the game. It's like I started out TR, but then I saw that they get a Catgirl helmet. I love watching anime. Like I have a quarantine channel on my Discord for the anime nerds. And it's like, they'll all just play VS because they want to wear their Catgirl helmet. It's like, I think the gatekeeping is a big disadvantage of where it's like, you can't have this cosmetic because it doesn't meet the faction's lore or the faction's image. It's like, bro, just give them everything and then let the player make whatever character they want. We're all RPing to an extent. We're all role playing as I'm Shoctorr, you're Aeflic, you're CMDRCyrious, but like, I'm just Zuhir, bro. Like when I'm turned off the stream, I go to bed. Like I have my personality. I listen to rap music. I'm not just a planet side Shoctorr dude. But like, I just want to play and be whoever I want to be online. It's like, whether it's VR chat or PlanetSide 2 RP where I'm Cletus or whatever. Like it's fun. Like that's what MMOs are at the end of the day.
We said a lot, serious. So I want you to.
I don't know. Like, what's your opinion? Like, do you think that like factions should like the TR should really only have like the K Comrade, like helmets that like I don't know, like that like only look like they're from Russia, and then like NC looking like America, like.
Right. No, I don't think it should be that linear. I will say, like, I do like some of the immersion. Yeah, like I obviously you're right, and we all play a character, right? We play a character out there. I do the same thing, especially on my stream. So I think there's some very immersive elements that if someone's running around with the top hat and pink camo and all that can break it. What I would like, honestly, is a toggle where everyone could say, and it might even help with performance a little bit.
Oh, just turn off the cosmetics for you.
Like you could check. I want the default version because I got a crappy PC, or I want to be immersed, or I want to see it all. And then obviously in Sanctuary, everyone sees it all, and that's where you get to show off all your swag.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad idea.
So I again, I'm sure there's technical hurdles there, all that stuff, and will it make it harder to sell stuff? Maybe, I don't know. But I would really love to see a way where it caters to both players, the immersive people, and let them have whatever the hell they want. Let them wear a pink dildo on the head if that's what they want.
Like obviously there's some like as long as it meets like their terms of service and stuff like that, and it's not like something that's offensive or crude. But like that helmet, like that Catgirl helmet for TR, like again, I don't really watch anime. I'm not big on like joining those discords and like role playing as a girl. But it looks like a quality product.
What are we? Everyone has pink camo, but then I can't get that backpack. Okay.
Right.
And the line it's like we're making lines in different areas where it's like, let's just have the consistency where it's like, if pink camo is allowed for everyone, then like, Catgirl helmet is allowed for everyone. The elite, like I look like I'm in German special forces helmets only on TR. Like who cares? Give it to VS and NC, or like the NC like America fuck yeah stuff. Like who cares? Just get like it's the same character model. Just color it differently. Like, would giving NC armors to TR really break the experience for someone because it's like they're more square? Like, I don't know. And I think that's just like a lot of stuff where it's we almost limit ourselves when we see that there is success in giving standardization across the board, like that the NSO mentality of giving everybody the same thing. That's a good point.
And that's a good point. And now take this idea. So the NS15 is brilliant. You're right, because you get the new animation, you get the new sound, you get the new look, and you get zero drama, right? Because everyone's on board with the NS15. There's nothing to challenge. Now, if we only did that, people are going to get real tired of NS weapons real fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have the bandwidth really to go do the model for TR, VS, and NC if they were to stray into any other weapons. I like the idea of a new skin for an existing balance model because I think it avoids, as you said, keep it simple, right? Could you, or would this be too much of an uproar? Could you do an Orion reskin it, make it cool, and then give it to all 3 factions.
I said that in the podcast, brother. You said my point. Let's go. I want that so bad. 200 damage model. I'm going on my high horse here. 200 damage model. Give it to VS and TR. 160. If you're complaining that an Orion's broken, give it to both sides, bro. Let everybody use everything. We wide, bro. Go ahead, Aeflic.
That's a great point. Faction loyalty and faction-specific things that only you can get on your faction are cool. But it does create issues, which we've experienced. The Zoe Max, if it was broken for everyone, it wouldn't be such a bad issue. Nope, it's broken for one faction. The Beetlejuice was fucking super strong when it first came out. And guess what? A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people left and never came back to the other factions because of the Beetlejuice. It doesn't matter now that it's balanced. So that's a huge issue. Huge issue. I don't think that's a bad way to go about it at all. It doesn't really break the lore, like whatever. Like it's just it fixes a lot of problems, and it fixes this issue of like everyone's like, oh, VS is this, VS is that. And it goes back even to the map. Why when the map rotates that somebody gets the base, and then everyone wants to go to VS because they own Nace's Defiance, and now we're going to farm in Nace's Defiance. If no one owns it, or everyone has access to it fairly, it almost makes faction loyalty easier, if that makes sense. We have access to it. There's none of this hopping around. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get fourth faction for better fights. That's fine. I understand that, but it's just, I think we've come so much further than that now that like it's not worth it.
It's like a level of effort idea, because I look at it like we talk about LOE in my job all the time, just a level of effort. It's like what do we want to achieve, and then how much work do we want to put into it to cater to the customer. So if the customer focuses and prioritizes low cost, then we prioritize low cost over innovation, right? But then if the customer is known to want like super high innovation, then we'll go for a higher cost like solution, but then, give them that higher innovation. Like it just depends on if it's a SWOT analysis. If it's as easy as that, where it's like they look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the company, and they go, well, a weakness is we don't have the bandwidth, like you said, Cyrious, to make those brand new models as frequently as we did. The Endeavor project took us the whole year, and it was one guy's passion project, and it got out there by the end of the year. We met that deadline, but it takes too long, and we just don't have the people. I understand. Then, honestly, take the Orion, paint it red, give it to TR. Paint it blue, give it to NC. Take the Butcher, turn it purple. Like, we've seen it. They've already done this because, again, I only look at historical evidence of them doing things like this. If you recall in the campaign, you could hack other people's vehicles and literally turn them another color. I had a red Mag Rider. Or excuse me, I didn't have one, but I saw a red Mag Rider. I saw a what's it called? A red Vanguard, right? I saw different colors of faction specific things. It's like if we're here this far into the game and like I really want to start grinding up a character and I have like guns that I really like, it's like, I want to play on my TR, but sometimes I want to use my Orion. Like some people have better fights, but then you're not feeling their weapons at the moment. It's like, I don't want to use the MSWR all the time, even if it's my favorite gun in the game. But if TR has the best fights, then I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Even if I wanted to like work on my Orion skills, for example, or work on my Goss skills. So I mean, we've seen that they've showed us that you can do that. Like there is like a secret black market behind the scenes. You hack a tank and it's yours now, even though you're TR and you're driving a Mag Rider. Like, let's keep that going. That was actually kind of interesting, was it not? Like seeing a red Mag Rider, I was like, holy, we've never seen that in the game before. And it didn't break the game because it wasn't a new vehicle. It was the same vehicle that we always saw. It's just some guy hijacked it and now he's on a different faction.
It's a great point. And we're getting to the point now when you add a new weapon, it's like, oh shit. Like the weapons are getting so
dangerous,
close.
Bro.
Well, they're getting so close to each other anyway.
Oh yeah, and they're like the same concept. So yeah, I agree.
It's not a 200 damage model saw on the VS. It's 199. It's a little bit different. It's like, okay, like this. Okay, but there's so many weapons out there just getting so close, and like there's only so much more you can do with it without doing essentially what we're already saying, which is simple. This is a simple way of I don't play the other factions, I just don't. But it'd be nice to have a heat mechanic on like my anchor or something, or a weapon like that. Like it would just be kind of fun to run around with that. But I don't feel like playing VS, so I don't do it. And it allows other people to get that opportunity. You know what I mean? So that's a great.
I'm just gonna since we're kind of throwing stuff out there. Here was my thought on it. Yeah, one nice thing about passing those things around is people complain. They don't have the option to complain about VS anymore, right? I hear it all the time. Why does VS have such accurate weapons? Because you're bad and they're good. No, but
He said it.
What?
Run. Just kidding.
You know what? Whatever happens. Here was my take is you know how like, and it wasn't this way in World of Warcraft. Every race had a certain little gimmick, right? And to start, like Stoneform was like OP, but they fixed that to every little gimmick was kind of pointless really by the end. So my thought was always give TR 2% rate of fire bonus on everything they pick up. Give VS 2% less bullet drop on everything they pick up, and give NC 2% velocity increase. All of this is really pointless, but at least then to a new player, they could come in and still feel like there's some faction variety. And to a veteran player, you could just go play your Orion on NC and it wouldn't really bother you. I know I was always brainstorming ways where we could like feel like we could give these things to more factions without completely killing faction identity.
Well, I think a lot of the stuff that we bring up though is more based on late game content, because I don't think a new player would have, whether it's real money that you're spending or it's certs that you're spending to like rent the gun for the day. Like let's say you're renting like the Orion on TR for the day with like 1,000 certs. It's like, I don't think the new player has either the ability to with the certs to get them fast enough or is willing to spend the money because they just don't really know. So I feel like a lot of the times, like we look at things from like the veteran player's perspective, but then when a new player starts out, they're still just like, you know, they might read the lore, but you know, we're just like, yo, my favorite color's red. Like that's what I did. I was just like, my favorite color's red. I chose the red faction. I didn't read like, oh, they have bigger magazines. Like I feel like a lot of the like, and maybe it's just me, I might be a minority, but when I chose my faction, and a lot of people, I feel like when they did too in my chat, they were just like, one looked cooler and I chose them. I liked the spandex, or I liked the America looking of it.
Or maybe you picked that originally and then time wore off and you don't like that's gone away. That 9 years ago when the beta was out or whatever, 8 years ago, like that's bled off. Even if I picked NC, I don't remember why I picked NC. Maybe it was because of the faction specific.
I find it hard to believe that somebody goes like, okay, there's three factions. Let me Google. It's like, oh, one has more DACA, one has Gauss, and then one has lasers. Let me choose.
I think it was more like I just looked at the colors and stuff. And
and then there's that little blurb, because I watched some guy streamed, like he just found PlanetSide and he was streaming it, and we watched on my stream of like, you know, this guy was actually a brand new player. He's like, what do I choose? And he's like, red, blue, purple. The blue guys are cool, and he clicked blue and then he started the game. He didn't like go on like a thesis paper hunt to like see who had like the things. So I don't know. That's
plus,
one thing.
Guns don't make PlanetSide, like, you know what I mean? Specifically, like, okay, you can say, oh, the anchor, but like that's, I mean, it's the people that I've met along the way. It's the outfits that I've been in. Those are my real like big memories about PlanetSide. That's what's driven my faction loyalties, because I found people I enjoyed playing with, and you know, it wasn't like, well, we all have saws or we all have anchors. You know, like that's our big thing. Like that never was a part of my PlanetSide love, I guess. You know, it's really until like recently, and that's kind of just been like a stream thing. You know, to keep me playing the game, I just set a goal. So I don't see any harm there. I don't think people are gonna be like, well, I'm gonna quit because I have access now to this, or the other people have access to this. You know, I don't.
Yeah, and it'd be super catered to like late game content, because like right now, I think all three of us are in late game. Whether
what's
our
after
meta
late game? Dead game? I don't know. We're in that stage. We're in the stage of like after late game.
Well, it's like we have objectives, right? Like your objective was to get highest kills on the server. Mine right now is to get all three of my characters to ASP 100, and then after that I plan on doing NSO and see if I can get that to 100. And then Sirius, I'm assuming you have objectives, whether it's to help new players, lead your outfit. Like you do a lot of stuff on your stream too, and I would call that late game, but that's not game driven late game. That's almost like us setting objectives, and a lot of people don't care to do that. I remember talking to you about this, Aeflic. Like I would never give myself the objective to get 100,000 kills with a gun. I would never. That's just so much. Like I love switching around and just doing different things. I can't do that to myself because I personally, like my ADHD would start popping off. I'd be like, I need to do something else. Like I need to use this or that. So like game driven stuff where it's like, oh, this is the late game. Like enter the black market now. You've hit BR like 90 or 100, or when you ASP'd, like you hit the black market. That's catering to your late game individuals who feel like they've been left out. Like, you know, campaign didn't cater to them. Doesn't really feel like Outfit Wars is if you're not in an outfit. Bastions didn't really do it because they're not really interested in being in a Zerg fit anymore that is able to get it as often as they do. Like that's something where it's like it's not that big if you think about it. It's things that have already been in the game. It's just like, whoa, now I have a red Orion. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get back at those fuckers on VS that have been farming me or whatever. It's like I'm gonna use what your thing against you. It's stuff like that where it's like I think that caters more to late game people, and you're not gonna see like a brand new player go, I'm going to buy an Orion. And it's like, oh, but that ruined my experience because I chose TR because I wanted to use like a Carve, for example. Like, I just don't think it's feasible for a new player to be able to even afford that because they have a lot of things they also have to look at. So I don't know. It is kind of a hard thing to isolate, but
for me, I always, with ideas, I try to anticipate the Reddit meltdown, right?
Mhm.
Reddit's going to find a way to melt down so you can't entirely stop it. But I'm just trying to think of ways to say, okay, I agree. Like, you know, people don't have a problem with weapons to like BR20. And then it's not really even because of the weapons. It's because, okay, now they're sort of figuring out the game, but they're also getting melted a lot. So the first thing they're going to do is blame the weapons. So I do feel like there's an advantage if you let everyone get the access to every weapon, it sort of takes that way to complain off the table. Because then you can be like, well, bro, fine. If that one's better, just go use it. So I do like that aspect of it, but I just know if you hand it to everyone, Reddit will have the faction variety meltdown. So I'm just,
It don't matter what you do, they will have a meltdown.
yeah, and I was gonna say I think
And
that's a major
Dev team
disadvantage.
doesn't care, bro. Let's be honest.
True.
Everyone, dude, people cried so hard, and I'm talking about my outfit and my Discord and my TeamSpeak that I'm a part of. Everyone cried so hard over the Thumper, and I was just like, let's just wait till it comes out, and it's gonna be cool for a couple days, and then no one's really gonna use it, and then it's gonna be dog shit. And that's exactly what happened. And then the next thing that was gonna come, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be awful for the game. And like, while you find ways to avoid them, and like, you know what I mean, like, okay, they're annoying, but they're not the worst thing in the whole wide world that's going to kill the game. Reddit's going to be Reddit, and that's because it's Reddit. It's like Twitch chat. It's like, my Twitch chat's toxic. It's like, bro, it's Twitch chat.
Yeah, Minor Cloak killed the game. Remember that one?
Yeah,
Killed it.
exactly.
Firestorm, it's still unplayable. The game is still unplayable. Like the Matic Max is unplayable. Like there are things where it's like, you know, there are things in the game right now, and you could even relate it again to Outfit Wars, where like there are things in the game right now that people will insist are that's it. I'm done. I'll never touch the game again. Like I remember the I always call them Coom grenades, so I don't remember what they call it now.
Oh yeah.
The grenade that slows you
cross
down.
ones?
Yeah, the Esamir snow ones. I forget what they're called. But like they
I've seen
added
like 2 of those.
yeah, I use it sometimes just as a meme, but it's just not, I die when I use it. Like I'd rather just have a normal grenade. It's like
Grenade's better, right?
yeah, like people said that would, like, I'm quitting the game. I'm never going to touch it again. Like my fellow streamer community was like, yo, this is going to ruin it. Minus 20% everything. I'm done. It's like they're still playing the game.
I'm moving to Canada. No, you're not.
It's like no one stopped playing. No one's using it for one other than me, and 2, no one cares anymore. And same with like the Thumper one. It's where it was like the Thumper does it too, and they added the Coom grenades to the Thumper. Like I don't know, a lot of people they'll cry and stuff like that, but there's like these little like clumps of people and their own vocal minorities, and then they seem like they're the number ones or whatever. But
plus the dev team doesn't give a shit, bro. They do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the main thing to look at. At the end
Cry
of
all
the
you
day.
want. They will add. Maxes are still here, bro. Orbital strikes are still here. All that shit's still here. They don't care. They will do whatever they want. Like they're not worried about Reddit, in my opinion, because they haven't been. And they do listen to feedback ish, it seems, but they have their own idea of what they want the game to be, and we forget about that sometimes.
We had to get 30 KDRs with the pneumatics to get a response. Like, I mean, and that's good. That's just live testing. If we don't have enough time on PTS, like, our only other option is doing it on live.
And I do agree that I'm all for, if there's something in, people should use and abuse it. Like I've seen this mentality sometimes, like, oh, we've got to play, call it Bushido or whatever you want. I mean, to me, if there's something in there, you should skew the numbers so bad that they like have to change it. Not like exploit, but like
just use it and showcase that
potential.
it's like I usually average like these stats, and people are gonna hate it because it's stats, but like I usually average these numbers, and then I use the thing that you added, and now I've quadrupled. Like I've exponentially become better.
Thanks, serious. Now there's gonna be more ATG and Maxes tomorrow. Appreciate that.
Everyone's gonna be running around with banshees or whatever. Yeah. Sorry.
So that does kind of relate to like one of the big Reddit posts too recently, where it's like people using symbiote and assimilate and the heavy assault mains 88% of the time, 40% headshot ratios, 199 kills and 9 deaths in a session. The Beetlejuice, it's like and they're attacking the players, and they're saying that the players that do it are it's like, oh, it's not me that's making the game die.
Yeah, dude, let's bring it up. Can you do a vote right now, Shoctorr?
Yeah, sure.
Let's bring up my let my live feed show for just a second.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So it's this one, guys. Right?
It's like, could I be the reason? And it's just like all these
This
like
one versus
implants.
this one.
Yeah.
Who is it? What's the bigger problem? Part 1 or part 2?
Let me see. Set a poll.
No, guys, I gotta say, first of all, it's gonna be a skewed audience right here, right? Because like, you know, Shoctorr, your standard audience is gonna be different than Arshi's standard audience is gonna be different than Sirius's is gonna be different than Aeflic. Well, I think Aeflic and Shoctorr, you guys are probably pretty close. But which half of the community is gonna vote a little bit differently? From my perspective, I get more complaints from new players about this part 1 type of player than the part 2. I get complaints about both. New players come and they tell me they quit the game for this reason or that. But just in my little test group, it is more of this. But I'm curious, from the community, what they think is a bigger problem. Try to be objective, guys, on the vote.
Both are a problem, but they are not the problem. They are symptoms of the problem. Where it's the heavy assault in this first picture did not make the symbiote implant. They did not make the carapace implant. They did not enact the V6 policy. They did not make nanoweave. They didn't make medkits. They didn't make the rocket launcher. And can you go to the other picture?
Well, I just don't understand. Like there's an SKL guy. Like every outfit has heavy assaults with the Orion or medkit. Like it doesn't. Even the Zerg fits. I don't understand that mentality whatsoever.
Well, the other thing, it's
I'm
like
very confused by it.
the players that are doing what they're doing in this picture, because this is also an issue. They're not the ones who made the tanks, the base designed to be able to do this, the orbital strike incoming, the base that makes it super easy to just destroy everyone from one single angle. These are symptoms of the problem, where it's the problem itself is the things in the game that allow you to do the thing that people are crazy mad about. Whether, again, it's the Beetlejuice or it's the orbital strike, whether it's the infantry elitist saying that I can't leave the fucking base because everyone's shelling it, or it's the new player saying that there's toxic people out there constantly V6ing me and I'm going to quit. Like, don't tell the player he can't V6. Advocate that the devs remove the V6 if it's actually ruining the game. Advocate that the devs make base design better so that you don't get that situation where you feel robbed of an entirety of 5 to 10 minutes of a base because you can't get out of the fucking spawn. Like, that's what made me mad. I think both can be problems. Like, I hate nanoweave. It should be gone. Like, nanoweave is pointless. It ruins, it makes the game more shallow.
People leave for both reasons. People leave for both reasons.
I think nanoweave makes the game more shallow, bro. It's like if you got removed it and just gave everybody nanoweave by default, or removed it and got rid of nanoweave in general and brought down the TTK so that it's baseline for everyone and allowed everybody to use that slot now for something else. And same with symbiote. You allowed them to use that implant slot for something else. There would be more dynamic natures in the game. There would be new metas. There would be, you would have people actually interested in doing a lot of different stuff. But I think both are just symptoms of a problem. And then, the numeric, this is what I hate about Reddit, where it's like, well, idea 1 has more merit than number 2 because number 1 has a higher number of upvotes. This is
number 2 got ratioed, man.
Yeah,
that's all that matters anymore.
Yeah, because more people advocate for one type of playstyle than the other on Reddit, because Reddit's just a place where people can meet like-minded people. So it's like, am I surprised that like-minded people agree on one thing over the other on a website full of like-minded people? No. It's like, it's the same thing when people said, the new Matic Max is fine. And was it like 75% of people said yes? It's like, yeah, you could just brigade that. You can't consider that a survey, an accurate a population from like your player base. So I don't know. That was me ranting, though. It's not the problem. It is a symptom of the problem, and it is on the developers to address that. And you should be advocating as a person on Reddit or on Twitter to like advocate that gets removed if you think that is really the thing that's ruining it. Don't attack the people utilizing the thing. Get mad at the people. Don't get mad. My bad. Just advocate towards the people that give them the ability to do it in the first place. Like,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, I said that about but then there are certain situations, because I said that yesterday and apparently it was used against me. Like, there are situations where it is the player. Like, if the player is V6ing, but then they're also sending tells, being extremely toxic, saying racial slurs, that is the player. But if it's just V6, bro, it's in the game. If you don't want it, it's not the player's fault for using it. It's the developer's fault for leaving it in there. Advocate to them. I don't know. That's just my opinion, at least.
It is actually really funny because it's 100% a taunt. Like, V1's like, thanks, or like, let me catch a ride, V5. But V6 is that's the taunt, right? That's actually like, better luck next time, or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah. It's like your best is my worst. Your get better luck next time. It's like you don't even hear the thing. But like I'll be like, what I'll say is like people will V6 me, right? Because it's like I'm me. Like I'm very controversial. I stream all the time. It's like I fucking
Same.
got that shitter Shoctorr V6. I'll be like Clone did it to me last night, and he V6'd me, and then sent me a tell later going, suck the dick. And then I killed him later, and I was like, all right, bro, where's that smoke now, bro? Like, come at me, dude. And it's like, that's just gameplay, right? But like, if you really think that it's getting to you to the point that someone's like, you know, taunting you in a video game, which isn't a new thing, but if it's really getting to you to the point that you think it's breaking the game, not only for you, but for other people, advocate that it gets removed from the game, not that people who use it get banned, because people are going to use it forever. It's not a new thing, and it's never going to be a new thing in video games where people taunt one another.
I totally agree. It's part of the game. And I'm the same way. Yeah, if it's in the game, use it to its maximum effectiveness, and then devs should tune it from there.
Do you think that, because again, our audiences are not, like, it's hard to get a survey accurately done because usually the people that listen to other people have, again, that sense of commonality. They like the person because they feel that common. Yeah, and Darson says it pretty well. It's like we're biased in a sense, but I think it's more of the sense of it's biased, but it's also like we have a sense of commonality. So if I know that a lot of people are going to agree with me, I'm going to do it as well. Do you think that your community, similar to mine, how mine is like, you know, people say it's the echo chamber of like toxic vets and it's just a bunch of 2KD heavies in my chat. Do you think that yours is also on that number 2 side because, you know, you do cater your content to new players, and then the people that do stick around are those players that, you know, that are being triggered, like I don't say triggered, but targeted, excuse me, by this first picture?
I would say I have a higher amount of the first picture folks. The people that are, you know, came around because of my new player guides. And I get a lot of people coming back in and be like, oh yeah, this game, I remember this game, blah, blah, blah. It's tough to make them stick, right? I kind of see part of my job is to try to get them over that hump. I don't think PlanetSide 2, there's no matchmaking, right? There's no fix here. I don't, you know, sure you could take V6 out of the game, but yeah, as you said, it's part of video gaming. Someone's going to be screaming about, you know, oh, something about your mother, and you know, that
Sure.
Xbox kid is going to be
suck,
there, right?
like you're
they're
fat.
gonna be
They don't
there.
even know you, and they're just saying all this stuff about you.
You go to any game and that's going to be there. You don't try
Yeah.
to fix that part of a game, in my opinion. But there is going to be that difficult part in this game specifically that they got to face the Aeflics and the Shoctorrs and the, you know, Zyros and whoever else of this game on day one. And that's always a tough hump to get them over. And I don't think it's this player's fault, but this player will drive people away from the game. It'll just
You
happen.
think more so than you not being able to get out of the spawn room? Like, again, I've talked about it on this podcast. What about everyone thinks that it's me and Shoctorr and whoever is at this fight coming out of the spawn room, getting a kill, and then getting killed by the tanks.
And then we're
But no
yelling
one's talking
it.
about the other 20% that's there. That's just a new NC player. They're also going through this experience of at least when you fight me, you have a chance. Typically, I'm overpopped. I'm fighting more people than myself, and yeah, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. As a new player walking out to that, you don't have a chance against that.
Here's the thing: the new player walking out to this is they can see 40 tanks standing on the hill and an orbital strike coming in, and they have feedback.
Can they though? You know how many times I'm just gonna say, like, can they? Like, you know how many times I've been killed from like 2x's away?
That's true.
But no,
That's
continue.
true.
I understand.
True.
It depends on the base.
But,
it's situational.
Or if it's a Bulldog Sunday right there, a few of those coming in, they see the explosions going off, even if they can't see that mag rider that's up on that hill. They normally have enough visual feedback to say, okay, I am facing something different. Whereas to them, and they were probably fighting you with like 4 other people, they don't know. All they see is I went head to head and I shot 40 bullets at this guy. It doesn't matter if they hip fired from 50 meters away and just held the trigger for 5 seconds. They hit you with 50 rounds, right? They felt like they went 1v1 and they died unbelievably fast while they put so many bullets on you and somehow you didn't die. And that's the hump that it's really hard to get people over.
I agree. What is more prevalent?
I mean, for me, being on the new
the 6 good players on at any given time. I mean, go to Physio. There's not that many good players playing. I'll tell you that right now. The 6 good players that are spread across 3 factions at.
But how many real fights are going on? You go and you pull up the tab bar at any fight, and there's going to be 3 or 4 players that have, 300% more kills than everyone else in general. And they, with redeploy side, they can make it to every fight really, really fast. They can have massive effects on the map.
But I think that example of holding tab doesn't really stick in my head, because a lot of the people that like in this picture, they wouldn't show up by holding tab. Their dog. My dog did that one time before a speed. I smell it. I think the people that are in this picture wouldn't show up in the leaderboard in the first place because they're not actively contributing to, like, they're not in the game's mindset. Like, they are securing the base indirectly by putting down fire, right? They're blasting the spawn room, making sure people can't get out, and that's helping the people capturing the base to ensure that they get it. But they're outside of I think a certain range that would allow for the base to even track their kills in the first place. Like, so I think I understand your perspective though, because when I watched the new player experience thing, like the streamer's name was Bluey, and I watched just him start the game, his VOD at least. I saw him watch from start to basically finish, because he hasn't touched the game since, honestly. But he started the game up, he did the tutorial, and then he logged in. He didn't know where to go. Then he went to a fight after people in my chat, from my chat, like one of my mods put it in the Discord, and they all like brigaded him and started helping him like get good at the game. They told me to go to a fight, and it wasn't really one side or the other. Like, we would see people that, like, from tags that I know kill him, and I'd be like, you're gonna make him quit, stop killing him. But then on the other hand, he was like he died to a tank, and he's just like, where the fuck did that come from? So it's like, I don't know, considering it being like one thing or the other is so difficult that I think it's just a matter of map design and then I guess server performance. Because like, yeah, you will get headshot all dinked, and then there is no like region locking, so someone with crazy ping can just like literally insta kill you to the point that it feels like they're cheating. But like, Zyros is an amazing player. He just has higher ping, and he's in the UK playing on like Connery, for example. That's a really long distance to send one packet of data from one thing to the other. Server's gonna have some issues, and then holding down left click, all headshots, that's gonna dead. Like, that's it. That's the game mode in itself. So like, again, like, I think these are symptoms of the problem, but it's not the person. It's the game having it be able for someone to facilitate that gameplay in the first place. So when people complain, I'll just wrap. Like the play time. Like, do you want people to stop playing the game? The headshot ratio. Like, do you want me to not be as good? Like, those are things that, like, I guess are like heavy assault. Like, do you not want me to play my favorite type of game style? Like, that's like questions that I guess are kind of valid to the person, but then they don't really make sense in an argument. But the rest of the things there are just things that are in the game that you can use whenever you want. But go ahead.
Well, a couple things. People act like this post act like it's an Aeflic or a Zonic has killed you 1,000 times. I mean, go to the kill boards. I mean, you're not gonna having like 3 kills on somebody is a lot. Like, and if you're at a 1-12 fight and they keep spawning in the center, that's gonna happen. But realistically, you're not killing the same person over and over and over and over and over again. It's just not realistic. I mean, maybe if your platoon's bitching about one person, maybe. But then I flip to the other side. Let's like Summit 1G. Who else has streamed this game with like 20,000 viewers? And why are they leaving the game? And what are all their viewers looking at? Is it because Aeflic killed Summit 1G 3 times? Or is it because they came on the spawn room and, oh, dead, tank. Oh, dead, A2G. Oh, there's one more pop here. I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, sniper, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. Which one is it? That's, to me, a better survey.
It was probably getting one weapon locked by that Summit 1G's big black something or other, whatever.
Oh yeah, people stream sniping. Yeah, I've been advocating for better streaming, like people to be able to be more anonymous while they stream the game.
Those big streamers need no friendly fire. Like, that's got to be.
It's not even that. I think the game itself shouldn't have friendly fire, because it makes it harder to get, or it makes it easier, to, again, attention-seeking behavior. Like, I think making it only exclusive to streamers is like, nah, like, everybody gets bullied. I've been stream sniped when I had 3 viewers because people just wanted to stream snipe me. I wasn't some big time guy. But I think another thing is just the sense of anonymity would go a long way.
Before the TK and the I want to focus on that for 1 second. Let's just say Summit 1G wasn't streaming, or Shroud played it for some reason. He's a great shooter. He's not just going to assume that you're this hacker or something, right? He's going to be like, okay, this guy's good. Let's see if I can't deal with him. Like that, I want to look at it from that perspective too. Like, what is turning people away from the game?
Well, that's just
that's a good
at
thought.
That point.
And now, when it's a streamer out there, that one's awkward for me because I feel like with a lot of what streamers kind of deliver, especially like a Shroud that does a wide range of games, is they deliver content of games to their viewers so their viewers don't have to play almost. Does that make sense? Like
Mm-hmm.
the viewer's
Yeah.
curious about games. They don't want to have to try to learn it themselves. They don't have the talent level of Shroud. And so they enjoy hanging out with him because they get to sort of experience all these games at his talent level, but would never actually log into any of them. Or at least, when they go and they experience like PlanetSide 2.
They're watching the
So-
streamer, not the game. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
Yes and no, but streamers have also blown up games like Among Us. I mean, let's be honest, it goes both
that's
ways.
true. And Among Us and Tarkov and PUBG, I mean, for sure, there is that. I feel like when they go to like PlanetSide 2, it's like, I don't know, going to the bad part of town and just like having an experience that you're never gonna go back to or something.
they're like, "Yikes! This was that was an experience. Let's head to the next game, guys." Like,
Well, that comes down to my point, though. How do you showcase your skill?
Right. Yeah. I
You
don't know
walk out-
how. I don't know how you convert players from a stream to stick with this game.
But my point is, though,
drops
like,
enabled. Sorry.
the experience on the second screen is what I'm referring to. I mean, that was Summit 1G's first. When, like, if you go back to the VOD, like, it's him just repetitively coming out of the spawn room, and it's just this gross, like, overpop suckfest of like, there's I can't even show you my skill set of a good player
Right.
because of what's going on around me. It's not Zonic that killed him 3 times, or something, for instance, that he's worried about. It's the fact that, like, can I showcase against Zonic that I'm better than him, or I can actually fight this guy? I don't
Right.
have that opportunity because of part 2. That's what I'm trying to drive my point home to. Of like,
And that makes sense. And I know that there's absolutely a big chunk of the people that never come back because of that, because of just the not understanding the battle flow, not understanding how vehicles can farm so hard. Right? There's no way for them to know, right? Where do I go to not get spammed by a bulldog?
but sometimes it's the only fight. That's it. That's just the fight that's on the map right now. Or there's 3 fights that are your factions being zerked.
Yep. I tend to get a lot of the rage YouTube comments when someone's quit the game, right? So they show up at the game, they YouTube some of the tutorial. CMDRCyrious probably shows up, right? So they subscribe to me, they play for 2-3 weeks. And then like the 3-week mark or whatever is probably when I get the comment, I quit the game. And I get one of the comments is hackers. And I always put hackers in the not being able to handle good players category, right? Because sure, there's a few hackers, but 99% of the time, it's that. One is the complaint of the other faction has better weapons. I put those people in the same category, right? Because if you played for a while, you know that's not the issue. And then the third category is I don't know how to deal with all the vets, and which is them accurately representing what their issue is. And so I will say that those are my top 3 complaints compared to I do get them. Yeah, it's the tanks. It's the how do I deal with aircraft, right? I get these 80 ground aircraft bombarding me. So I combine those 3 and those together end up being the larger complaint that I get.
Okay, but then we play a game like Tarkov.
Oof. Wow, that's actually a really good one.
Popular.
There is
You're in a bush.
There is no matchmaking in that based on
You have
skill.
thermals.
People are like level 100 and they have like stuff in their gamma cases and stuff. I agree, and that's even a
Warzone?
harder new player experience.
Warzone. I played a lot of Warzone.
True.
Okay, I'm new to Warzone. I don't have the custom drop, so I can get my fucking really good loadout. Yeah, most people have that stuff because they're vets in the game, but not everybody is. Or I'm going up against. Hey, guess what? Hackers are really bad in that game. Huge, very popular game. A lot of people can play it. What I mean, there's vets in Warzone as well. You're a dog shit player, and you're gonna get your 2 kills or 0 kills, and they're gonna get their 20 kills. Other games deal with it very differently and handle it very well for whatever reason it is. But I didn't realize a lot of these things. This is why I don't think the new player experience is a big deal in PlanetSide, because Tarkov, you die, you lose everything. There's no new player experience in Tarkov. You just die, you lose everything, and guess what? And it's gone forever. And hopefully you can learn the game.
I agree, but I think it's less with PlanetSide about what to do because or no, excuse me. It's less about how to do what you want to do. It's easy. It's W M1 shift. You've done these things for years. It's what am I supposed to do? Because like, you know, the meta is very ambiguous about like what it is I'm trying to do. Am I capturing bases? Am I killing? Like what is my objective here? And I think the game does struggle a bit to tell you what to do. Because my chat and I watched like that new player experience where the tutorial just says like stand on these capture points to flip bases or to flip the point. and make it towards your empire's control. And then that was literally the only thing it said. It didn't go like, and then go to bases and then make sure that the bar fills up so that you capture it. It pops up very lightly, like on the right underneath or right above, excuse me, your map. But I agree, like when it comes to the disparity of items in video games, where it's like it's on one, especially in first person shooters, but it rewards you for playing the game more, and it's more of just a sense of, will you keep playing? Because when Warzone first became free to play and it came out, you had your Modern Warfare classes. So I remember playing with people in Warzone who only had Warzone and didn't play Modern Warfare. I was already like level 60 or something in Modern Warfare because I played it a bunch. I had everything unlocked. I had all these attachments. I had my favorite guns. And then they had just the default like classes that weren't that good. And then they were like, yo, Shoctorr, how are you fragging out right now? This is impossible. These guns they gave me suck. I'm like, bro, I played it like way more than you and I already have everything unlocked. And it's like, you have to play the game more and get things unlocked. But Warzone ended up addressing that disparity by giving people more opportunities to get the kills so that they could get the red dot sight, the better guns. And then they made new game modes for that. And I think it's, again, like that's the sense that it should be, you know, the game developers are usually the thing that needs to address the problem, because when you blame the player base, it's more of a symptom of the problem. It's not real life. I didn't go into PlanetSide and build a Beetlejuice like from like the rocks of Esamir and like chisel a stalactite and put it in the Orion and got unlimited energy. Like, no, it's something that's in the game and the developers made it. If you don't like it, band together, peepo riot, and advocate that it gets out of the game. Whether it's V6, implants, guns, rocket launchers, medkits, if enough people advocate that this is something that needs to be like changed, then it'll likely be addressed just due to the sheer number. And people that say like the developers never listen to any feedback, I don't know about that. Because Aeflic, I agree. Like most of the time, you know, it's like the shotguns suck. Fuck them. Fuck shotguns. They ruin the game. It's like, you know, Rel's not gonna go, all right, let me delete them all. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. But he'll take a look at it. And if he does his own little analysis, they probably have like internal processes where they're like, okay, we have a problem, let's address it. They look at it, they look at the state of shotguns, and then they go, I think it's fine. They just move on. Like, what did you want them to make a public statement? We read your opinion on Reddit about shotguns, and we have decreed that shotguns are fine. Moving on to the next subject. Like that's such a small, minuscule thing. Right. So it's kind of, again, on both sides of because I think that's why I really wanted Aeflic on this as well. Because Aeflic does bring a lot of good inputs from like I've played the game a lot and I know what people that play the game a lot think. I'm not saying that you don't, serious, but then you come in with the really good opinions about, I've dealt with a lot of people who have played the game little to none, and I know what they deal with when it comes to the game. So I think you both bring up valid points, and a lot of the time it's like we're just looking at symptoms of the problem rather than like asking ourselves, well, why is that there? And then when we get to that reason, why is that there? Until we get to that source core issue. Because, yeah, a lot of games have disparity of items because you haven't played the game enough. You have to get the things, and in order to get the things, you have to play the game.
Yeah, and I didn't even think, and serious, I'm so sorry. I'm curious what you think about this directly. I didn't even think about something. PlanetSide is unique in the fact that you have this kind of shroud over outfit leaders and platoon leaders and this command structure, and then there's a faction command structure. When you're new, you're like, this is crazy. Like all these guys are around this table looking at the map and they're moving their pieces. Like, no, it's not like that at all. Everyone's just cussing each other out on the fucking command channel. So when someone like Pale Tiger says, hey, recursion, which you are going to run in, it's not like it's 3 AC that are playing the game randomly, right? There's a good amount of them that play the game. When he says these guys are hacking and he's holding 50% of the fucking TR population on the server, and as a new player, like, this guy's played the game for a long ass time. He has all the weapons. He's telling us where to go. He's doing everything. His effect on the game is humongous, and that's like honestly something that's even more detrimental than probably anything else. It's how many people that he touches. I didn't even think about it until just right now, and when I brought it up, and that's many leaders.
Absolutely. That's a really tough one. Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that I'm too soft on him when that's going on. When I'm trying to say, hey, let's be diplomatic. I understand a lot of people are just saying, like, look, that's just straight up bad. You gotta, nip that in the bud. You gotta end that. You gotta do whatever you need to do to make sure that's not being dispersed to the new player population. So, yeah, I totally understand people's hate in that sense for, call it the big outfit or call it the Zerg, whatever you want to call it. I try not to use the connotation because I think that those outfits that are constantly running public platoons do important service. to the community.
Yes, absolutely.
But you're right. There's absolutely too many times I've heard in those public platoons. I've been banned from these platoons, right, where they get in this hacker circle jerk thing, and it disseminates into the new player population. It's just not good for the game.
Well, it's just the difference of leadership. Like one leader says, "Hey, okay, this guy's not hacking. He's just really good at the game. I've played this game for a long time. We don't believe in that." And like you have this mentality, and then you have the other mentality. It's just like, and it's just a random draw of having a good leader or someone that understands the game. And there's no way to fix that. I don't think. It's just kind of it's an interesting thing to think about. But
yeah, and that's it. Kind of a tangential. The grind is another big complaint I get, and I would love to see some sort of catch-up mechanic for new players, low directive score players. That is another big complaint I get, because nowadays you're right. In Tarkov, it's like everyone can be right back at 0 at any time, right? It's not.
The grind in that game is nutty, bro.
Sheesh, and the fear of losing the things that you got too.
Right. I mean, I guess in that sense,
game.
It's a hard grind. I'm trying to think of another game where they've kind of solved it, where new players really feel like they're on the same playing field as expert players.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Call of Duty. Those starter classes, they give you everything that you'd need. They give you a good sniper class with everything already in it. Because if you think about the way PlanetSide's set up, we get an infiltrator class, but barren. It's hard out there for a new infiltrator that wants to be a sniper. You got a semi-auto, you got a base set cloak, and you got a range spotter. Good luck, bud. Or like a heavy assault. It's like, well, we gave you a red dot sight. It's like, all right, cool, bro. Thanks. I'll try the new player puts the red dot sight on. He's like, all right, I'm going out there. But like, with Call of Duty, like even if you go back to like Modern Warfare 2, like there was the class, the Riot Shield class. They gave you the Riot Shield. They gave you the dual wielded PP2000s, and they gave you something to use until you had enough to make your own variant of whatever game style you were playing. They gave you an LMG class. They gave you a sniper class. They gave you everything basically fully certed, but it wasn't necessarily the meta. It was just close to I guess you could call it like a situational meta, I guess. It's like, because I brought this up yesterday when I was talking on stream, looking at those two pictures where it was like air to ground is a great example. A new player's ability to counter somebody in an ESF is boiled down to, we gave you a burster. Go pull a max and shoot one burster at Pierre flying around, prey pilot with thousands of hours. It's like, good luck killing him. It's like they don't even give you like a lock-on launcher. They don't get. You'd have to hit a dumbfire shot and like perfectly hit. And it's like us, like veteran players can't even do it either. It's pretty hard. But like, yeah, like Modern Warfare 2 gave you a FAMAS class, and it gave you like a bunch of the, what's it called? It gave you the 3 perks. It gave you like whatever things that complemented the playstyle that was like written out in that specific class. And I think PlanetSide could do with that, where it's like, if you think that the new player experience is very hard because they get barely anything, give them things that are uneditable, similar to Call of Duty, where it's like, it is a situational class where it says like anti-air, and you're like, oh, I gotta grab my heavy assault because I see there's a bunch of aircraft at this base and I'm getting shelled by it. Let me go. There was an anti-air class that I remember seeing in the tutorial. I go pull it. It has everything sorted out. It comes with like, I don't know, like a 4X SV88 that you can't really use in other alternative classes. It's not unlocked for like everything. It's just specifically for that class. And it's like, sure, it might not be the meta, but it gives the player an opportunity to do something. Like, that's just how I remember when I first downloaded Call of Duty, for example. So I don't know. So it's hard though. I agree. Like the startup is one of the I started a new character to play with 69 KD so that I could, because it was only, I'm a ringer. He said it, but I wanted to play with 69 KD so they could have enough people to even play. And like the new player experience is rough. They gave me a red dot and I was like, bro, I have like thousands of hours in this game and I'm struggling. So
I think we've solved it though. I think we fixed PlanetSide.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully everybody wrote this down. There is a quiz after this, by the way. For everybody that's in chat, you will be quizzed on everything. But one last thing that I did want to bring up, because I think we have been going, for about 2 hours now. Or we've been going for an hour and 51 minutes. What is
So about 2 hours. Go ahead though.
The last thing that I guess to kind of bring it back to Outfit Wars is, and in general when it comes to griefing, like and this is kind of going back to like the first points, but why, or excuse me, not why, what do you think should be the response to this sort of thing that kind of occurred over the weekend? And then do you think it was even like people are bringing up that it's against TOS when it comes to the PlanetSide TOS and it falls under griefing, and that PlanetSide, the developers have sole jurisdiction over like what will happen to them. Like I'm interested in thinking like what you guys think should happen, whether it's, and you guys kind of brought it up a little, but I don't know, I just like I want to get like a solidified stance just so we can understand. I think for even new people coming in, like what should happen to people that decide that the integrity and the love of the game is not as important as like being toxic and griefing. That's kind of like my question, and I'll let either one of you go first.
Aeflic, I'm going to give the kind of like diplomatic, like caster response, and then you can come in and just say this is what it should be and give like the good one.
No, yours is gonna be good. This is a tough one, man. Go ahead though. This is tough.
Here's the thing: the PlanetSide 2 community is too small to lose any of the whales.
I've said that too.
In my opinion, you can't take hard action on anyone. I do think you have to make a stand and say this is not okay. Here is your punishment. And I think that punishment has to be some sort of temporary suspension. But I don't think it should be anything serious. I don't think it should turn a player away from the game. It should just be like, look, guys, hey, it was fun and funny, but this is not the way we meant it to go. And if you do this, there's going to be a repercussion. That is to me. I do think they have to somehow say, hey, we need to start. If they don't do anything, just as you were saying, Shoctorr, it is going to be backdoor dealing all the way to the end.
Out the wazoo. I'm telling you, there's people already doing it. It's like, even if it's not a big action, just a statement, literally anything. And they have until that next match. So, yeah.
What about you, Aeflic?
I said it before. There's nothing they can do that they'll fix the issue. Banning him, honestly, probably hurts them more than it does any good, right? Besides people being like, oh, haha, you got banned, and then no one gives us two shits 2 weeks later. So I don't think there's, besides just having integrity as a developer, from that aspect of it, that's the best case scenario. Is like the devs did something, boom. Backdoor deals are going to happen, and no one's going to know about it. You can fake it as much as no one will know. It's going to happen in the game. There's a 1v1 moving forward. It's dog shit. We already know that. Whether or not it's fun, there's no way of stopping it at this point. There's no way to know. You can't accuse somebody of doing it, right? They came out and obviously blatantly said it, and obviously it's very obvious that they did it. There's a ways around that. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out how to do that. Okay, so the only positive I see from it is, as a developer, we saw that it was griefing. We have a policy against griefing. This is what we're going to do, and I don't care what it is. If you ban them forever or you slap them on the wrist, it does not matter. That's the best thing they can do. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. I don't know how you stop somebody from doing it. You don't.
We're going to get a team of fun police, 60 of them. They're going to infiltrate every Outfits Discord out there and monitor all their communication.
So Eve Online, is that you?
Honestly, like that is already kind of happening though. Leaks. I don't know why my Discord has become leak central, but like everyone's like, Shoctorr, I've got another leak for you. And it's like Outfit X has already been conspiring with Outfit Y to delete Outfit Z. You need to cover this, Shoctorr. People need to know. I'm like, all right, turn on the band tonight on Shoctorr stream. Like I don't know. So I agree with both of you. There's not enough people in the game to try to be like, oh, like let's have brackets, or what's it called, like divisions or whatever. It's like the good division, the medium division, and then the Zerg division or whatever. And then at the same time too, it's like you can't really fix it because it's just the format. So and then again, I think that just falls back to what you said earlier, Aeflic, where it's like we're reinventing the wheel, bro. And at some point, like reinventing the wheel just doesn't really make sense. Like if it was 1v1 and people were played to win, and winning isn't the only thing that makes things fun. The journey is just as fun as the end result. Then yes, it would probably be a 100% fix. But the format is what the format is at this point. I've really rolled back my stance, I think, on it because I don't expect much change when it comes to Outfit Wars. Yeah, it's just a matter of, all right, well, try to incentivize bad behavior as little as possible so that people like this don't feel like they got the moral victory.
Yeah, fair.
But overall, I appreciate both of you guys Serious, this is the first time me and you have actually ever talked. You know, we've talked to each other in our chats and whatnot, but, you know, first time talking, and it was a pleasure. I think you brought up a lot of good points.
Same.
Even from a viewpoint from, you know, somebody that, you know, interfaces more with, you know, newer players rather than my echo chamber of salty vets. And then Aeflic, you too. I mean, taking the time out,
this
talking.
is fun.
It's like
yeah, thanks for having me on,
past.
guys. And yeah, we're all looking forward to when you guys work out more podcasts.
Yeah,
That's
for
a lot of
sure.
fun,
We
so.
want to. We've been talking about bringing it back, but it's just like one of those. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's such a time investment, and bringing on people is usually the hardest part. Because Aeflic and I can schedule it. It's just like a text. Yo, you free tonight? Yep, let's do it, and we hop on. But when you bring on a third person that's operating on their own stream schedule or their own work schedule, like Rel, that's where it gets kind of hard, and you have to schedule it weeks in advance, and then you never really know what you want to talk about until it's like the day of. Because then something like this will happen over the weekend. It's like, well, we were going to talk about a new continent, but now we're talking about people throwing matches. So. But claps in the chat, by the way, boys. Thank you. Claps in the chat. Good work. Thank you both to Aeflic and to Cyrious for hopping on. Check out both of their streams, twitch.tv/Aeflic, twitch.tv/ I believe it's CMDRCyrious, CYRIOUS. And yeah, and then obviously on YouTube as well. Aeflic's on YouTube as Aeflic. Cyrious is on YouTube as Commander Cyrious as well. And other than that, unless there's any last words from both of you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. And it was a good conversation.
I think just we're gonna have to, you know, get the tribunal going here, and after next weekend's Outfit Wars, we might have to pass judgment on any outfits that collude again. So
we'll do like a weekly Outfit
tribunal.
Wars review.
The chat can bring people forward to us and be like, hey, here's the collusion.
The court has brought you upon us today. So yeah, no, for real though, I really appreciate you. Also, like, Cyrious was the one who reached out to me, and I'm usually seen as like the memer. Don't talk to him, stand back. Like, Cyrious reaching out to me and wanting to do it. I was really appreciative of that too.
Dude, you're the real deal, man. You're awesome. We all appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you a lot too. I've watched your videos on stream, and even though I make fun of people's YouTube videos, I always find like points for viewers that I agree with. And people are like, "Why aren't you being hard on Cyrious? You're biased." I'm like, "Bro, he's saying nothing he's saying here is wrong, bro." So, all right, boys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it,
guys.
and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right, boys, claps in the chat once again. Commander Cyrious and Big Boy Aeflic coming out to talk to us today about real motherfucking shit. God bless, that was a good convo. What a convo. Shoctorr, quit stalling. Bro, swat the dick.